Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning. It is a lovely Monday to be talking sports with my guys, Matt Jones. And Matt Travis is back in the chair. He is back. He is married. He is happy. He is tanned. And he is ready to roll. And we're ready to roll as well with you for the next 5 days here on Halftime. And we got you for the next 3 hours on what should be a national holiday. The thing is all the people, Matt, that complain about this should be a national holiday. Like, you can't take a day off on sports radio the day after the Super Bowl. Maybe some other people can take a day off. But this is like the continuation of yesterday when it comes to sports talk radio. So, no day off. It's just kind of an nice and easy Monday. You know how the Commodore's saying about easy like Sunday morning? It's just an easy like Monday morning / afternoon for us today.
Swing easy when it's breezy. That's right.
That's exactly right. Maddie, are you all right? You're all right being back in the chair? All right being back at work?
I am,
married man, a taken man now.
It was fun being on my honeymoon, and sailing the high seas, going to Mexico, being on the beach. But what I really wanted to do was get back here and be with you guys again, because this is where I'd say it's like every day's a vacation when I'm working with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I could tell he really meant that, Phil. That was sincere.
He does not speak lies. I don't think that's within. No. I don't think that's within Maddie's.
I'm not capable of it.
Christian Johnston did nice work for the last couple of weeks, but there's nothing quite like having the team all together again. So, yes, is your left hand? Does it feel a little weightier than it did before you left the show, Matt?
It does, and Matt Jones was nice enough to point out the shininess of my finger, but it's got an extra little neat story because the wedding ring I'm wearing was the ring that my grandfather wore for almost 60 years. So I'm wearing my grandfather's wedding ring. That's the one my wife put on me.
I did the exact same thing when I got married. Yeah, it was my grandfather's wedding ring. That's exactly right.
That's pretty cool.
And even though I'm not married anymore, I'm not into jewelry, but I do have that thing still stashed.
You didn't throw it over the bridge when you were driving over afterwards. When it was over, you didn't say, I can just throw it down and let it just go in the creek and just kind of somebody else find it along the way.
No, I threw my father's eyeballs overboard like Hot Shots and just kept it at that. No, it's somewhere. I don't even really remember where it is, but I know it's somewhere. Maybe at some point I'll put that thing on again. I don't know, but
you don't have to put it on your ring finger. You can put it on
put it on a necklace or something. Yeah, just keep it close to your heart.
I can't tell you the last time I wore a necklace. It's been at least 8 or 9 years. I got a streak to go. Matt, you're an athlete. You don't screw around with streaks.
A little stitches. That's right.
Of not wearing jewelry. And life gets better, on a daily basis. So why would I want to mess with that?
And that's why the yin to your yang. I haven't wore these two necklaces I got. These it's probably been 20 years I've wore a necklace every day. I could count the days on my hand, the days that I haven't wore one. Yeah.
Yeah. Do things the way that make you feel comfortable. I actually got to watch a little more of the Super Bowl than I expected, driving back from yesterday's Arkansas women's game where they blew out Missouri, holding the Tigers to 33 points. And I got back, watched it starting in the second quarter. And man, that was a good Super Bowl. We're in a place now where I kind of expect it to be a good game on an annual basis. We've had a couple, really 3 or 4 good ones in a row now. I remember back when you'd be like, man, you hope it's going to be a good game, but it's just not going to be. The only thing, and I don't know if I'll put it on the idea that the officials decided the game with that holding call at the very end, but it is 2 years in a row that, man, it does make you think. What is the game being called a little bit differently in the last couple of minutes than it is for the first 58? Because I watched the fourth quarter of last year's Super Bowl, Cincinnati and Los Angeles, in the morning 2 days ago, and I'd forgotten about that holding call, the defensive holding, which basically set up L.A. for the final score, and it looked like a phantom holding call. I don't know if this one was phantom because the poor defensive back already admitted that he tugged on his jersey, so that is a penalty. But, man, I mean, there were probably a few other tugs throughout the game that didn't get called. I wouldn't say it ruined a good game, but it's not necessarily the way that I thought it would at the end of it.
Well, it just ended the way that I guess people didn't have the ending everybody wanted. It was a penalty. It was a flag. It definitely should have been a holding call. The thing, Phil, that I would relate it to would be, let's say an umpire is calling this low fast, whatever, low below the knees. They're calling a ball all day long, and then in the eighth or ninth inning, they get in there and you got a 3-2 count. And he calls it a strike. You'd be
right.
Like, you want him to be consistent is what you want. Now, the truth of the matter is he held him in it. But could you have called it more? Were they letting him play? Like, were you letting him play a little handsy the first 5 yards? Were you letting him do? Just be consistent is the main thing you want as an athlete out there. And man, those Phil, those 2 touchdowns in the second half they ran, same exact play. And they got him twice. They went to the well twice, just the other side of the field. Have the guy coming in motion, get a guy coming across, and then he zigs him right back, sharks him right back. Zach, whatever your terminology, everybody runs it. That's why you see those shifts in motions. Kelsey's touchdown was a motion double move, and then those other 2 were motions, just got the guy running, just walk in. I mean, all 3 of those are as easy. That offensive coordinator, whoever, the guy there that's been there 5 years, I wouldn't get rid of him. Like, whatever Patrick Mahomes, whatever you got to do, that was a great – because whenever you play a team that's better than you, what do? You got to change it up. You got to make it nasty. You see this in women's basketball when the team's not as talented. Mississippi State basketball, they're not as talented as Arkansas, so they got physical, played a zone. You got to change it up, and that's what Philadelphia was doing. They kept Mahomes off the. He didn't get as many offensive snaps. You saw that first half stat. What do you have? 19 plays in the first half. They went an hour and a half not running a play. Same exact concept, Phil. When we had play against Peyton Manning and Indianapolis Colts. Or we'd have our third-string quarterback in. You just gotta. You can't mess it up. You can't make mistakes, and that's what Kansas City didn't do. They didn't make a lot of mistakes, and their defense was able to score. Their offense was able to make some adjustments in the second half. All around, Phil, it was an amazing Super Bowl.
Really was. I mean, it just, like you said, it didn't have the ending that you might have expected. It was anticlimactic. Really, I mean, how brilliant is it for Pacheco to just slide down at the one? You could tell, and that was your boy. You'd said this guy's going to have a great performance, and you were right about that. But I mean, that was brilliant. And you saw Philadelphia was just laying out. They were going to let him get into the end zone, and then just figure we're going to go down for a game-tying touchdown and find a way to get this game into overtime. It was a brilliant move by Pacheco to know how much time was on the clock, the timeout situation, and they could just roll it down to the very end and give Philly, what was it, 12 seconds, 10 seconds maybe? But it was anticlimactic. We kind of picture heroes in a Super Bowl, coming down to a last drive that takes out the final couple of minutes. Brady, Montana, even Matt Stafford last year. Even though Cincinnati got a chance at the end, they had a chance for a last drive. There was no chance for Philadelphia to drive it any longer after that because of a heads-up decision by the guy that you thought was going to end up being maybe the MVP. But, of course, you knew it was going to be Mahomes. Still the biggest play of the game is the fumble return for the touchdown.
Yes, sir.
By
Phil.
Nick Bolton, who very well could have ended up the most valuable player in the Super Bowl anyway for a defensive touchdown and 8 solo tackles. But, man, I mean, this was a king-making Super Bowl for Patrick Mahomes, who now is, with Tom Brady retired, the unquestioned king of the National Football League.
He's the number one if you're starting your list. And Phil, I think he's the best quarterback to come in since Aaron Rodgers. You look down, just his release, the way his arm angle, he's a little more athletic. But you remember when Aaron was in his first few years, he could run around. He had a calf issue. He's had stuff go on. But just the arm talent, the way he can slot that ball, any throw, he can make them. I mean, he is fun to watch. And on the other side, Phil, Jalen Hurts, what an effort. Man, that dude. No kidding. He's a football player, a throwback guy that you want on your team. It's just that fumble he had, and the ball just slipped out of his hands. That was really kind of his main blemish.
And he played really well after that. I mean, that's somebody that can bounce back from a tough moment or a tough couple of games and put together the kind of performance that even in a losing effort makes you tip your cap at somebody. He's also something special. I doubt that'll be the last time Hurts or this Philadelphia team is in the Super Bowl. And to be quite honest, and I don't know all the situations as far as free agency is concerned with Kansas City, but I know Philly's in a position where they are not done, not even close to being done. Kansas City isn't either. Like, what are the chances we see this Super Bowl again sometime in the next 2 years, and that these two quarterbacks are going to be linked forever? I mean, they already are linked forever as the first two African-American quarterbacks to battle each other in the Super Bowl, but I just don't think this is the last time that they play each other in the Super Bowl.
Well, they're both uber talented. Jalen Hurts, I don't think he's a top 5 passing quarterback, but just as far as what he is for his team.
And a leader.
Yeah, that's it. He's a leader. He's a runner. He's a gamer. You want him on your team. Phil, the guys that really stood out to me on the Philadelphia team, Dallas Goedert, if I'm saying his name right, made some big. You got to have a tight end. You got to have a 6'5" tight end. Travis Kelce, you look at the kid from San Francisco. Everybody has one of those. But A.J. Brown is a man. Like, I don't know who you are, what you do, but when you watch A.J. Brown play football, that's a grown man out there playing, and he can do whatever he wants. I mean, he runs whatever he wants. He's like Anquan Bolden. You remember Anquan Bolden, how strong he was, how he catch the ball, just physical, violent receiver. That's what A.J. Brown is. Then you got Devontae Smith, who's your speed guy. I mean, they got such a good mix of young talent on that Philadelphia roster.
That's the thing. It's that they're young, too, and controlled on contracts for a while. That's why I think you're going to see this Philly team. And, heck, as long as Patrick Mahomes has one toe out of the 10 that he was born with, heck, he might not even need any toes. Just going to put him on a peg leg, and he'll find a way to will you to get there. So that'll be the overarching theme, of course, on halftime today. But over Saturday, a really disappointing loss for Arkansas basketball. More than anything, it was disappointing because it was home. I think it's a pretty good Mississippi State team. They might not make it to the NCAA tournament, but if they keep playing the way they are right now, they'll make a run and certainly be on the bubble by the time the committee's got to make their decisions. So we'll get into Arkansas men's basketball with a huge week coming up now. Of course, they got A&M on Thursday. Women's basketball had their best defensive performance ever since joining the SEC. Think about that, holding Mizzou to 33 points. All that, digging into baseball. Hey, it's the start of baseball season on Friday. Oh, my gosh, I'm so excited about that. So there's a ton to get to. And celebrating Matty T's return to halftime. Plus your calls and texts. Connor O'Gara coming up hour number 3 from Saturday Down South. After the break, we are joined by Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation. First, want to remind you that if you live in the city limits of Charleston and you're beat down by unreliable slow internet, there is very good news from Wave Rural Connect. They have fast internet services available to you today. Wave Rural Connect will be at Life Church in Charleston. That's at 3366 West Main Street from 7:30 in the morning until 5:30 in the afternoon. That's today and tomorrow at Life Church on Main Street in Charleston, Arkansas. You can come by, get signed up, and get really, really fast internet. You can also sign up at signup.waveruralconnect.com. Wave Rural Connect, a local internet provider, fast rural internet from Wave Rural Connect. We'll talk with Mike Irwin next on Halftime.
Might take a train. If I got to walk, I'm going just the same. I'm going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here I come. They got some crazy little women there, and I'm gonna get me one.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
We were going across the bridge at Texarkana when he was down there doing some oil and gas work. When I was a young one, I got car sick really bad. Dad, I'm not feeling good. You need to pull over. And I was leaning over the seat. He said, son, let me get across this bridge. Didn't make it. Right down the collar of his shirt.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sportsbook in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters.
Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Paschal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPaschal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPaschal.com.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Take your calls in the next segment, and we're going to talk with Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation for the first time in a couple of weeks. Missed you last week, Mike. You feeling better? You doing all right?
Yeah, I was just sick that one Monday. I'm all right now. My wife made some stuff I ate Sunday night that didn't agree with me. She kept some of it and ate it again, said, it didn't affect me. And I'm going, you're not getting me to eat that stuff.
You had to do something about that weak stomach at that moment then, man. What'd you think about the
That's right.
Super Bowl yesterday? I'm ready to have a coronation for Patrick Mahomes. 2 Super Bowl championships already. What is it, 5 years into his career?
Well, that's 5 straight AFC championship games, right?
Yeah. It's amazing. Really is amazing.
I'm trying to figure out if he rope-a-doped him right before half. I don't think he did, but I had somebody tell me, he wasn't hurt that bad, and he knew it, but he wanted, the Eagles to go into that locker room thinking, he may not even play. And they relaxed. They dominated the first half anyway, and then I don't know what went on in that Kansas City locker room, but they came out like a house on fire in the second half, and that was the difference in the game.
I was going to ask Matt, how long does it take for a cortisone shot to set in? Because I would imagine there was something getting injected into that ankle.
He probably did get shot up. I mean, it happens. But yeah, he was in pain. Those high ankle sprains when you get rolled up. It's the only thing. The best thing is rest. If you're not resting, it's hurting. Mike, what was kind of your turning point that you thought when Kansas City kind of made the move and you could tell that they were going to have a chance to win this game? Because Philly kind of dominated the first half.
Yeah, I thought they were dead in the water. Started not even to watch the second half, and then I thought, well, what the heck? And just when they came out and looked like a totally different team, and Mahomes was just like, man, I'm like, how does this guy do this? And he even ran a couple, a couple of nice runs there on that ankle, and I'm like, wow. So, it's just one of those things people are going to remember for a long time. I mean, a player that's committed, that wants to win, man, that's why we all watch the game, right? Watch for guys like that to do that sort of thing.
I was going to say, Phil, that's he's right, but Phil, when you and Mike, it was a straight line run. That's why he was able to do. He wasn't doing the zig and zag cutting, but that straight. But you could tell he was in pain.
Yeah, and Matt, I've never had any kind of injection. It would seem to me that if it deadens you down there, you'd be like running wonky or something. I don't know how that works, but clearly they did something to him.
Yeah, he was bouncing around better in the second half than he did in the first half. So, but that turnover, Phil was talking about it when Jalen Hurts just kind of fumbled the ball and the Chiefs number 32 picked it up and ran it in. That was kind of the momentum, I thought, when Kansas City was like, all right, if we can get some more snaps, because Philly did such a good job of not giving Kansas City opportunities.
Right. And again, you come out in the second half and your offense is working and you just take charge. I mean, it was a fun game to watch. I mean, it comes down to that call and people are mad about it. Yeah, it was probably pass interference. Yes, it could have been overlooked. I don't know that you expect somebody, a ref, to go, it's late in the game. I don't want to decide the game, so I won't call it. It could have gone either way. You still had pressure on that field goal. Yeah, it was a short field goal, but man, I wouldn't want to be a guy in that situation.
And he had missed one earlier, so it's in the back of his mind.
Sure. So it wasn't just a dud ending. There was some suspense there, before it went through.
I mean, it was amazing, though, that Philly, that generated, 70 sacks up until the Super Bowl, got nothing. And really, not all really that much pressure either. I did not expect Kansas City to be able to completely negate the thing that makes Philadelphia's defense so special. And I thought that their pass rush would be the difference. It turned out it was the difference, just in the other direction.
Yeah, big surprise. Again, if you'd asked me before the game, I would have said, well, I know Mahomes is hobbled. He's not 100%. I think that's going to be the difference in the game. Plus, I went in thinking Philadelphia is probably a little bit better team anyway. So, man, it was a surprise for me.
Mike, what'd you make of Arkansas's loss to Mississippi State on Saturday?
Well, I mean, there's all this stuff going out there that you introduced a new factor into the lineup and you messed up the chemistry, and you're not going to get those people to back off from what they believe. I can't say that didn't have an effect, but it sure didn't affect Anthony Black. He had 23 points and five block shots, 5 boards, I think 3 steals. He played his tail off. I think there was some frustration on his part, but not directed toward Nick Smith Jr. He got mad at Walsh at one point on a turnover. I just think you could, if you went back and looked at what's happening with Mississippi State, one of the top defensive teams in the country, and then they've been getting better offensively, you maybe could have seen that coming. I think a little bit of it is you have that big road win, you think you've turned the corner, and even if you're being reminded every day the rest of the week, hey, don't let this go to your head, I think there's a psychological thing there. To me, the league is better a little bit top to bottom than it was last year. In other words, there's teams down there's so many teams that can beat you now, and maybe more so than last year. I tried to look at the difference between this team and last year's team. Last year, they didn't dig themselves as big a hole. I think they were 8-4 at this point instead of 6-6. The scoring was about the same last year, maybe even a little bit. This year, maybe a little bit better defensively, but maybe just more maturity last year on the players that you really have to count on. When I look at this team a year from now, if Brazil comes back and the Mitchell's brothers come back and you got Walsh back and you bring in 2 more 5-stars and one of them's a kind of a true point guard that's not 6'8", he's like 6'4". Maybe you end up with a better team on paper than what this team. This team just has seemed to, and part of it is the 2 injuries. So if you just take that out of the mix, it makes a huge difference. I think the question is, and Musselman was asked, and he answered the question. He said, "How do you integrate him back in?" He said, "Look, it's going to be a challenge. You got to. I don't know how he does it. I think you just kind of go with what you see. He played him more than I thought he would. 17 minutes, I think. Now, what happens, on the road, in College Station? Do you play him 20 minutes, 22? Well, I'm sure it depends on how he plays."
Mike, I thought Nick Smith, I don't know how much of a hunter you are, but you go hunting and you got your dogs out there and you go hunting for about 3 or 4 hours, and then you're pheasant hunting or dove hunting, then you come back and you get you a little snack, and you get the other dog that was sitting in the cage, in the crate, and then you get him out, and you got to let him run it off for 20 minutes because he's so excited before you can actually go hunting. That's what Nick Smith looked like. He just looked like he was so excited to be out there. Not that he was that out of control, but he just needs to understand the offense better. He needs to understand the defense. That's just what you miss when you don't play for a month and a half. He's going to be okay. I think he's going to be all right. I think it's a good move to play him now and get him going.
Sure, and if he'd hit that shot late, the 3-pointer that didn't go, man, people would have gone nuts. So again, there's some pushback because of all the agent stuff and the one and done. A lot of fans are against that kind of stuff. But, Muss is bringing in 2 more 5-stars next year. This is a thing they're going to have to get used to. It's just the way it's done these days. And I think we got some fans that don't like that. They'd rather just have a guy that's maybe a high 4-star, low 5-star that they're going to have for 3 years and not have to contend with this stuff. But not every 5-star has an agent issue or an injury that causes you to miss this many games. None of us really know the truth on that situation. Is it an injury? Is it just a soreness? What's going on with the agent? Anytime, it's my experience that anytime you have a lack of information, real information, people just go with whatever it just spreads. Oh, this happened, that happened, there's this, more conspiracy theories. And that's why I'm always been a big believer in, just lay it out there. Tell people what's going on. Give them the truth, and then they don't have any way of speculating because you've just laid it out there.
Well, I hope with what you're saying, some recruits come in. I hope Jordan Walsh doesn't go anywhere because I think Jordan Walsh can be a 10-year pro, but he needs 3 years of college. It's not about getting to the NBA first. It's about making the right decision and getting there at the right moment. And I think these NIL deals can help some of these players not be one and done and not think they have to go because he'll be a talented player for us next year as well. And then I think Pinion and Darian Ford, I think they're going to make some plays for us next year too.
Sure. I mean, that's the way it traditionally was done. Nobody really expected freshmen to tear it up. But when a guy's a one and done and you know as a fan that this is probably it, you want them to just go out and, wipe the floor up, wipe the other team out, just tear it up every night. And when you don't do it, it's like we're running out of time with this guy. I've enjoyed watching Anthony Black so much because this guy does. He's committed. He's trying to hold this team together in so many different situations, and it bothers me that we're not going to get to watch him next year or the year after. I ask myself, what would he be as a third-year guy? And I think we'll get to see Walsh, and I think you're going to see a big difference in him next year.
Yes.
And if he stays 2 years, you're going to see a huge difference.
You're already seeing a difference in Blake. He's not a freshman any longer. I mean, he's running this team. I mean, it's February. I understand he's a freshman as far as college credits are concerned, but I think in the context of college basketball, I guess he hasn't played in the NCAA tournament, but that's it. So many coaches tell you by this time you're not really a freshman any longer. Nick Smith is a freshman still in that same context. He just hasn't played enough basketball for this team to not be a freshman. And it's not a matter of big wide eyes playing in the SEC and big wide eyes going into, a road game at here or there, A&M coming up this week. It's just he hasn't played enough basketball. And I don't know if he will play enough basketball, to get to where we see him at his absolute best, which is what you were hoping he would have been playing at by now. Anthony Black is playing at his best right now.
Yeah, and again, that's the big question. How much better, how quickly is it going to take Nick Smith Jr. to kind of really accelerate his game? We saw him right in that the part he played in the Oklahoma game. By that point, he was really starting to look good, and then he was gone. So how quickly does it take 2 games, 3 games, 4 games? Well, he's got enough games left, I think, where he can hit the accelerator and really look good and make an impact, maybe by SEC tournament time, then into the NCAA tournament. So I think there's time, but the real issue is that's what everybody wants to see. That's sure what I want to see. I want to see how good he can be.
Well, I think a little bit is he needs to kind of get that out of his mindset where it's like, how can I help this team win? It's not his team anymore at all. He might be the most talented player, but you haven't been here, bro. You've been doing whatever you're doing. Your knee's fine. The way you're jumping around out there, everybody else is playing hurt. And they've been playing the whole year. So you got to kind of come in and fit in and don't worry about it being – it's not your team. It's just not going to be. So you got to come in and be a role player. Come in here and what can I do? How can I help this team win? Because he is our most talented player. No doubt about it. Nick Smith has the most upside. Now, I'm an Anthony Black fan, and I think Jordan Walsh is going to be able to play in the league for a while too. I just think he needs a couple more years at Arkansas.
Yeah, and again, but see, now what you're talking about with Nick Smith Jr. is what you just said is the way it needs to be. Okay, is that the way it's going to be? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to very quickly start trying to take over and push himself to score 20, 25 points in a game. Is he going to be content to score 12 and just get some assists? I don't know. I don't know where this is headed. And I think that's what Musselman meant when he said it's a dilemma right now as to how to bring him along.
That's a good point. It's like when you get a wide receiver and he's used to getting 10 to 11 passes a game, and then you bring somebody else in and now he's getting 3. And you're kind of like, well, what? And so Nick Smith is used to being the guy. He's used to being that guy, and he is talented enough. And the thing, though, I loved his energy. I loved his enthusiasm. I loved how he went about it. And I think he's going to be okay. I'm glad he got to play against Mississippi State, one of the better defensive teams. I mean, they had a good defensive plan for us. You got to tip your hat to them. They were going under the screens. I would make It's like when we played Auburn playing that court. I would make us shoot I would make us shoot 43s a game if I'm playing against Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how if we hit them and we lose that way, okay. But we're too good at getting to the rim and attacking that way that that's how I would play Arkansas if I was defending us.
Sure, but the interesting thing, Matt, is opening 5 or 6 minutes of the game, Arkansas attacked that defense, and they did score inside. But here's what happens: you have to work so hard to score inside against a team like that. You get psychologically, you start thinking, "Oh, hey, I'm open out here. I'll take this
it's
shot."
Less effort.
And they sucker you into that.
Yep, you're right.
Mike, we got to run up against the break here. I appreciate you. Thanks for hopping on. And next week we'll talk a little baseball too. The baseball season starting this weekend.
Sounds like fun. Can't wait.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike Irwin, Pig Trail Nation. Appreciate his time every Monday here on Halftime. Hey, you know what's going on tomorrow night at Twin Peaks in Rogers, your sports headquarters, with 29-degree draft beer always flowing. The kitchen has the made-from-scratch fan favorites that you've come to know and love. And they got a game blasting from every angle. Get the ultimate game day experience at Twin Peaks and Rogers, or go online at twinpeaksrestaurant.com. You can order delivery or to go there. More TVs, bigger screen, scenic views, more to watch at Twin Peaks, which includes tomorrow night's UEFA Champions Final. They've got the Champions League round of 16, along with the 29-degree draft beer and scratch food. I was going to ask Matt Jones, who's in the UEFA game for tomorrow night, but he stepped out.
Blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-345-2789. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-345-2789. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-345-2789. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-345-2789. 800-345-2789.
Jelco Outdoors at 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith has the gear for nasty winter weather. Warm boots, insulated clothing, warm socks and gloves, insulated underwear, hand warmers, and all the gear for the kids, moms, and dads. Don't let that nasty winter weather slow you down. Go to Jelco Outdoors, your locally owned outdoor store, for all your winter weather gear. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, your home for inflation elimination. We're on a mission to make used cars affordable for everyone. Our live market value pricing ensures you always get a great deal, and Rath Road Ready Reconditioning makes sure you always get a great vehicle. This month, we're making it even easier with up to $3,300 extra for your trade and prices up to $4,700 below retail. We know a lot of people have been waiting for just the right time to buy, and this is it. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. And for a real hedge against rising prices, ask about our exclusive Meineke Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They could save you another 20%. If you're ready to save some real money on a quality used vehicle and experience a better way to drive, call, click, or come by today. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, the home of inflation elimination, just north of Phoenix on Towson, or online at rathauto.com.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house-smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh-cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
People jeffing my checks be nice sums. By the way, I talk, you can guess where I'm from. Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas City. Hell yeah, I was born in Wayne Minor projects. Most people carry them waistliner objects. 904 Michigan, I'ma go kicking them rhymes and flow quicken in time. That's what made Niner progress. This is history. Young Rich and Dundilla team up with Mr. T. Even though none of our names are listed, we grew up with Ali Gates. And I got on my jolly and gaudiness from Marty Yates. City staple like Go Chicken Go. Get dough the most it can flow. When I'm rolling all around the globe, I'll be for sure missing mo. In my city, man, I really love the fitties, though they gritty. How bad is talking down like we itty bitty? Pretty. You better be wrapped up when the weather freeze. Threaten the dead of summer, super sweat on your head degrees. Let it free. That is me on a home of cheddar cheese. Tech could be reppin', definitely. I betcha I never leave. Kansas City, born. Kansas City, love. Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas City. Hell yeah.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And Matt Travis back in the captain's chair playing all of our music. Who are we listening to here, Matty?
This is Tech 9.
Representing KC, though.
Kansas City, and I got so excited. I was telling Matt Jones about him during the break. I was like, yeah, I've seen Tech 9 a few times before in the past. And then as I'm saying that, I look on Facebook, and I see he's going to be here in Fort Smith in May. So I've already messaged my wife and say, you probably aren't going to want to go to this, but I'm going to want to be there. Yeah.
Well, now that you guys are hitched, joined at the hip, so to speak.
That's right.
She's got to go everywhere that you go now.
And I got to go to every
Tech 9 concert. That's what you got to go
Just Skype me in. Just say FaceTime me, sweetheart. Whenever you get there, just FaceTime me. I'll watch with you.
What would you have played if Philadelphia would have won yesterday? Had you
Philadelphia
freedom. Yeah. Oh. It would be a little less hip sounding, I guess.
You would have to go back to the Elton John song. You're right. Either that or anything by Hall & Oates. Weren't they from Philadelphia? I think they were. They were known for the Philadelphia sound or something like that. All right. Well, it sounds good. Arkansas might have had a chance. I think they could have moved up to a tie for fourth place in the Southeastern Conference with a win over Mississippi State on Saturday. You had kind of some carnage going on across the Southeastern Conference. For one thing, road teams had a lot of success. There was only one home win, and it was maybe not the way that Kentucky looked against Arkansas, but Georgia to beat Kentucky in Athens, 75-68. That was the only home win across the entire Southeastern Conference. Vandy's gotten hot since Liam Robbins returned. Arkansas and Vanderbilt are tied with Florida in the standings at 6-6 in the league. Another buzzer beater loss for Tennessee by Mizzou.
Couldn't happen to a better group of kids.
2 games in a row, man. At Vanderbilt, then at home against Missouri. So regular season Rick having a little trouble closing out literally the last 5 seconds of basketball games. Alabama stays perfect, and they got a 2-game lead with 5 games left, I believe, in the regular season across the Southeastern Conference. But if Arkansas would have beaten Mississippi State, now I know the tiebreaker is a different thing.
Phil.
6 games left
for Arkansas. Yes, sir.
If Arkansas would have been able to beat Mississippi State, it would have been tied with Missouri and with Auburn and with Kentucky for fourth place. And, of course, fourth place gets you the double bye in the Southeastern Conference Tournament in Nashville. But with that loss, man, now you're –
And we go to A&M, yeah.
Well, now you're playing a hot team in Texas A&M, and that is a Wednesday night ball game. We'll have it right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. It's on the Deuce, 8 o'clock. Another 8 o'clock game. Love these 8 o'clock games, man.
Man,
a road game, too.
We win these games. You get Tennessee, the Florida, Georgia. If we find a way to win A&M, I mean, we could possibly still get up to that third seed. Fourth looks like our best. But we win a couple of these. We could get a one game bye. It's going to be a tough game against A&M.
See, it's going to be tough to get. You only have 3 home games left, and it's like playing on the road for Arkansas. Remember, they got the 2 road wins. That's it. Out South Carolina, Carolina's no good. At Kentucky, talented Kentucky team. I just don't think they.
They're not the same team. Yeah.
I don't think they know how to utilize their talent.
They don't have an identity. They look lost out there. Yeah, whenever Arkansas played them, they look lost. I didn't get to see them this last game, but they didn't look like they had that guard or that guy that was going to get them going like we do in Anthony Black.
The loss to State Saturday is not like what you would call a bad loss, that this is going to take you out of the tournament. But what I think it does is there are no more home mulligans. You got to win your home games. Otherwise, you're going to be on the bubble. You got to beat Florida, you got to beat Georgia, and you're going to have to beat Kentucky again to not be on the bubble. And then if they're able to find a way, man, I mean, a road win at A&M, road at Alabama. Alabama's now the number 1 team in the country after Purdue was defeated by Northwestern over the weekend, and then at Tennessee. So, I mean, I don't know. You find a way to win one of these road games coming up, and you're sitting pretty as far as not being on the bubble any longer. I just don't want to see Arkansas having to go into Nashville and be like, all right, well, we got to do something here, because I just don't think that conference tournaments, unless you win the thing, have really all that much to do with your seeding.
And look at A&M last year. They would have made the tournament if they would have won it, then didn't get in, and they were a hot team. I think they're still playing. You
make your case regular season. Either that or you win your conference tournament, and that's about it. All right, we got a break here, and we'll close up the first hour in just a moment. Always reminding you throughout this week about Wave Rural Connect. You live in Charleston, you hate your unreliable, slow internet. Well, Wave Rural Connect has great news. Fast internet is available right now to you if you live inside the city limits of Charleston, Arkansas. Wave is at Life Church in Charleston. That's at 3366 West Main Street. They're there right now through 5:30 in the afternoon. You just get over there, you sign up, and you get good internet just like that. Or you can just go online at signup.waveruralconnect.com. Wave Rural Connect, an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative, changing the communities they serve. Our number 1 of halftime wraps up after this.
'Cause she's hot and she's hot and cold.
Love is in the air at Crane Used Car Supercenter of Fort Smith. And dealer-operator Joe Pulliam is making sweetheart deals all month long. Like pre-owned vehicles starting as low as $7,497. Or payments as low as $269 a month. You'll fall in love with a Crane pre-loved with lots to choose from. Kias and Land Rovers to full-size trucks, all backed by the Crane commitment. Rush to the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 US 71 South in Fort Smith. UACC.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
They say consistency is the key to success.
they weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Where can you get RV show pricing without the RV show crowd? Breen RV in Van Buren. This month only, we are paying your sales tax on all 22 trailers in stock. Save thousands from Forest River, Coachman, Keystone, and Thor. Don't worry about payments for 90 days. Get free maintenance for life and all of your state sales tax paid at Breen RV. Check out the new Sunray that weighs less than 2,000 pounds. Don't wait until spring. Come by Breen RV today and let us show you how easy it is to buy a new or used RV.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
The biggest and best selection of brand new 22 and 23 Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. The 22 F-150. Get a $1,000 rebate and 1.9% financing for 60 months. Ford Bronco Sports, 3.9% for 60 months or 5.9% for 72 months. Plus Mach-E Mustangs, Escapes, and more are ready today with special offers. The best selection of new Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. I ain't happy. I'm feeling glad I got sunshine. In a bag, I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. It's coming on.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, today's the last day you can enter the Valentine's Day getaway giveaway at hitthatline.com. In fact, you only have up until just before Ruskin and Zach get on the air. So do it right now because they're going to announce the winners later on this afternoon during Ruskin and Zach. You go to hitthatline.com, enter your email, click continue, and you're entered to win a romantic stay at the Arlington Resort in Hot Springs. You'll also get not only your romantic room to relax, a trip to the spa for a couple's massage, a delicious dinner, drinks on the veranda, and you get a 14-karat white gold and ruby pendant and chain from Swift's Jewelry in Fayetteville, valued at $560, $150 gift cards to Richard's Country Meat Market, and to Cupid's Lingerie. So you can register. Today is the last day to do it. HitThatLine.com, and you'll see the Valentine's Day giveaway button top of the screen. Click it, leave the info, and hopefully you're not just banking on that to be your gift today. So if you don't have flowers and you don't have a gift, you got a pretty busy afternoon, I would imagine, here. Or you could just be single like Matt Jones. Matt Travis, you are married for 8 days now, so there's a glow around that. Are you expected to get flowers and to get a gift? Or was the wedding last week just sort of, is the glow still around on this?
I did check this morning, and I'm obligated to get some sort of flowers, but as long as we go out for Taco Tuesday tomorrow night, I'm going to be all right.
You got a good one right there.
She gave me an out. Yeah.
Man, that's a Taco Tuesday. She got a sister? Golly.
You married the right person.
Yeah.
Married the absolute right person. You don't have to cook. And you can. I mean, I know people that got married on Valentine's Day. That just means you end up getting an anniversary gift, and that's the Valentine's gift. This is going to be like maybe a little bit like having a birthday at or around Christmas time. It's just one thing about this is that, marriage and love are supposed to go hand in hand, right? That's how it works.
Yeah. At least in the song.
Valentine's Day as well. So it is the same theme. I think you picked the right. Do you feel like you're still in a boat? Is it sort of? I haven't never been on a cruise, man. I mean,
Phil,
I know what it's like to get out off of roller skates, and you still
that's
feel
funny.
Like you're skating for a few days.
You asked that because it's gone. It seems like it's gone away today. But even up to last night, I would look down at the floor and it would feel like it was moving. And I had to take Dramamine before I went to bed last night. So yeah, it's like I have been, and it was freaking me out. But I went on Facebook and saw a lot of other people in this group we joined that was for the cruise that were having the same experience. It's like it freaked me out because it was 2 days later and I was still feeling that way.
I can imagine Maddie having you take Dramamine so you don't feel like you're on a boat, but maybe that leads to dreams that take you on a boat. I don't know, man. Sounds dangerous. It's also dangerous to open up the phone lines here on Halftime. We're going to do that in the upcoming segment. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. No guests in hour number 2, so it's just you and us on this Monday after the Super Bowl on Halftime.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor. If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today to schedule your consultation. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon in the low to mid 60s. There's a chance of seeing some showers tonight. Overnight lows will drop down in the mid to upper 40s. Chance of showers on Tuesday. Our high right around the 60-degree mark. Wednesday, sunshine returning with falling temperatures. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Metters Lumber True Value, with locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville. There's always a Metters Lumber near you.
I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Yes, sir. Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that back, Drew!
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hour number 2 on Halftime, starting on the Super Bowl. It's kind of that's the way you got to start every hour. It's the law across the United States the day after the Super Bowl. If you're doing sports talk radio, heck, if you're doing any kind of radio, I feel like you got to start with that. Great game last night. A lot of great performances during the game, and we had some pretty great performances surrounding the game as well.
Started with Chris Stapleton. I thought he crushed it. Yeah.
He really was amazing. Now, I have no problem with people that play with the national anthem at times, especially at a big event like that. You kind of make the song your own in some ways, or just a certain version of it. I really appreciate the way he sang it, though. He sang it the way that I think I would sing it if I sounded like I eat gravel every morning.
I love the Jimi Hendrix where he just played it, at Woodstock, where he just played the guitar. But then I love the fact that he sang a little bit, because if not, I do like that guitar look. But if not, just sing it a cappella. If you're going to. But I can't carry a tune in a bucket, so to say.
And everybody's always gonna compare it to Whitney.
That blues, that little bluesy sound he has. I mean, that's
I don't know how to classify Chris Stapleton as a musician. Is he country? Is he rock? Is he folk at times? And I don't know where to. And maybe that's the sign of a great musician, that you really can't pigeonhole him into one specific category, because he kind of does all of those ones that I just brought up. He sounded great yesterday. That was. And I heard it on the radio.
Would it be kind of like a Bing Crosby? I know we just lost Bing Crosby. Would he kind of be that style? He's more electric than a Bob Dylan, more soulful. But yeah, I don't know if he's country rock, folk rock. What he's good music though. He's good.
Do you often
tunes.
see players crying during the national anthem at the Super Bowl? Is that a normal thing? Because I know that.
I think so.
That brought some tears yesterday.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was some. And again, I was listening to it. But Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner were the radio crew for Westwood One, and the one thing they mentioned after Stapleton's performance was Nick Sirianni, which they're just watching what's on the video board inside State Farm Stadium, and they described tears going down Sirianni's face. I didn't see his face until this morning, and man, I mean, it looked like he was ugly crying. I mean, I think that you can appreciate when the emotion of that moment gets to you in an event like that. We hear the national anthem. I heard the anthem twice yesterday at the women's basketball game at Bud Walton Arena, and nobody cried hearing that. I mean, it's just sort of an everyday thing at that point. The Super Bowl, the World Series, the Final Four, all those big sporting events where you realize, and I'm trying to like put myself in the athlete's mind here, but even as a fan, when like I remember getting emotional and choked up at the last Pirates game at Three Rivers Stadium where I grew up. I mean, that's the stadium I grew up going and learning about and loving baseball as much as I do. And the last game there with 55,000 people to watch a piddling Pirates team, when the anthem sounded, I couldn't resist. I mean, there was nothing I could do. It just started coming out because it was the moment. That's the moment where it really hits you, probably more than any other time of that event, not during the game, maybe after it because you've just watched something that you'll never forget. But it's that moment with the end. There's something about the national anthem. We're all standing, we're all silent, we're all listening to one person, and we all appreciate the magnitude of the event that you're a part of. And it just hits you. When you're actually one of the combatants on the field and your whole life has led to that, I don't know how you don't cry.
I put it up there with when you win an Olympic medal and they play your national anthem. You're definitely you're thankful, and for this awesome country that we live in, and all the people that have done everything before us and sacrificed and led this country to how beautiful this country is. I'm with you, Phil. It's a very humbling experience, and kind of helps you appreciate everything that's going on. But no, I always stand for the national anthem. It's hard for me. I'll tell you a story. I was in like 6th grade. I was a ball boy for my dad's football team, and they were playing the anthem before a game, and I'm throwing the ball or messing around. Man, it's statute of limitations are over, so I can tell this story. But I got a beat down. You know, it's like Pops is like, we don't play around when the national anthem. You know, you learn that lesson at a young age. You know, it's like whenever we start singing the anthem, you stand up and put your hand over your heart and you look at the American flag, and you take a moment to be thankful and to remember everything that goes on before you. So I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was a job well done by him. Better than the halftime show. I'll just put it that way.
Well, no, I didn't hear all of the music that Rihanna performed. I could tell some of the songs that she was performing, over the conversations and everything. I thought her set was really cool.
I don't know any of her songs, though. Yeah, see, I don't know Rihanna. I just thought it was a weird vibe out there. It was just, I just didn't dig it as much. But, the Jonas Brothers, I wouldn't have liked them either. It's not like I want to see that. It's tough, man. That halftime show, it's tough to kind of get a group there's probably maybe 6 of them that I even kind of. The one last year, the hip hop one they did last year, I thought was phenomenal.
A good one.
That's what I'm comparing it to, because I'm looking this year and it's not the same.
Matt, last night I was like yawning during the. Yeah. But my wife, she was dancing around the living room. Yeah. And at the end I was like, is this over yet?
I thought last year's halftime show was absolutely 1,000 times better. I
did see a petition going around again for Weird Al to be the next year's halftime.
Dude, he could do the national anthem.
As much as you and I love Weird Al Yankovic, the only halftime show he'd be performing at is the Puppy Bowl, unfortunately. Look, I mean, you and I grew up listening to Dre and Snoop and Eminem and the guys that performed last year.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up listening to Rihanna,
but
I've heard her in every basketball arena that I've been in for the last 20 years. And I don't think there's ever anybody that we'll all agree on that belongs there, except Prince. We will always agree on Prince. Please, right? We will? And we should.
Absolutely, man. They coming down in the rain right there in Miami. That was Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl win against Chicago. Devin Hester, it's like, don't kick it to him. He runs the opening kickoff back. You're like, what's going on? And then both those running backs had like 10-plus catches for Peyton. They were dropping back and just making you get underneath. And then starts raining, and Prince just goes up there and just rocks it. I mean, just absolutely. Man, he killed it. You're exactly right.
Well, I enjoyed the sets that Rihanna's show put out. I was like, wait a minute, are those floating? You could sort of see the strings or whatever it was.
Terrified. It was definitely, it looked like a string that's something that was white that had something red on it. Yeah, it definitely did not have a good look on whatever that was.
The white suits that all the dancers were wearing, it made me think like they were going to a house painters convention after the Super Bowl was over. It just looked like they were wearing those white Tyvek vests The dancing was. I mean, the dancing was going to be funky.
Do you know those were guys?
It
dancing,
looked exhausting.
Dancing, right?
Actually,
Yeah.
that nonstop dancing. It seemed so
these-
tiring. But you couldn't tell if they were men or women. That was one thing about it too.
Yeah, you're seeing these guys with these midriffs, belly buttons hanging out. You're like, gosh, this is so gross. It was the worst halftime show.
Men don't have midriffs; they just have big fat. Belly button
They had
nuts.
he had a lot of pepper on that belly button. I was like, what am I looking at? Oh my goodness!
Whatever you think about the performance by Rihanna, it's the most public of pregnancy announcements in the history of the United States or the history of the world.
You got to just say, sweetheart, we'll do you again in 9 months. You can come back and perform the show in 9 months.
Hey, I say come back to the College World Series and let's have a gender announcement.
There you go.
Little pink or red. We'll see
maybe the red and
balloon.
white. Maybe it's a girl. Maybe that's what that was.
Here's the thing. It's like, okay, so she was pregnant. I did not even comment about it. I felt it would have been like inappropriate of me to say, does she look pregnant? Because when I was a child, my dad always said, you hold doors open for women, and you never ask if they're pregnant.
Or their age,
their age, or if they're pregnant.
She just let everybody sort of ask the question amongst themselves. Nobody's asking.
She's a
her.
superstar.
I was thinking it, but I wasn't going to ask.
Yeah.
Well, she looked good. I thought
she's
Rihanna-
amazing.
She
She's
dang
talented.
good.
She's beautiful. All that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, God bless her.
We've got talented and beautiful callers that are on hold here, so let's get to them. 877-377-6963 if you want to join us, midriff or not. Woods, you're up first. Hi, Woods. Hey, Woods, I got to tell you, you were the newsbreaker last week. You brought bad news last week. With your
I know.
First,
I don't
friend
know
told
how
me.
I was the
First, Wood,
newsbreaker.
I don't know if you guys heard this. First, Wood says, a friend of mine says Jackson Wiggins has an injury. 30 minutes later, the release comes out from the university. He's out for the year. So can you say something that's more positive to start your call today, please, Woods?
I don't have anything positive.
Nice.
I just heard from inside that building last week. So I still have friends in there. So it was news to me, but it wasn't news to, I guess, to a lot of people. But either way, hey, Matty T, congrats on your wedding.
Thank you, Woods.
Yeah, and I would say that's a huge mistake. I've been married for 16 years.
Huge mistake.
Best mistake I ever made.
It's a downward spiral.
Oh, wow.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you're going to have a great day tomorrow, aren't you, Woods? I can't wait to be around you for Valentine's dinner.
Yeah. I'm a gem to be around, right?
I can tell.
Mr. Positive.
Bad news, man.
Yeah, no. The one thing I was going to say is, hey, it's baseball week. I am super excited.
That's right.
Like, I cannot wait until Friday. But Phil, will you be on the call in Arlington?
I will not. Brett Dolan will be on the radio call along with Bubba Carpenter. I'm going to be with women's basketball. Got a big one Thursday against Tennessee, and then we fly to Athens Saturday and take on Georgia on the road. So my first game is next Tuesday, the home opener.
Okay. Well, I'm not buying Flow Sports. I refuse to do that.
Brett will do. I mean, Brett's a major league radio announcer, man. He did games for the Astros.
Yeah.
So
He's
going to be just
listen.
fine. He does a great job.
Yeah, I'll listen. But also, Matt, I was wondering. We talked about superstitions last week, and I wore number 9, and I wondered why you wore number 9. I wore number 9 because of the natural, Roy Hobbs.
Oh, nice.
So what was your reasoning?
Well, it's not as cool as yours, but my reasoning was that when I got there, I was going to redshirt, and I wanted number 5, and Gerald Howard was number 5, and so they gave me number 13, and so I'm going through camp as 13, and then we weren't doing very well, and Coach said they wanted to take the red shirt off, and they wanted me to start playing. And, of course, me being 18 years old, and when I look back, it's like I can't believe I said this. But I walk in there, and Coach Nutt's talking to me. I said, Coach, if you want me to play, I got to be in a single digit. I can't take this red shirt off in a double digit looking all – because you don't look good in a double digit. And so Dow Loggins was number 9, and he traded with me. And Dow said he came to his locker the next day, and he said he had 13 in his locker and didn't even know. He was like, I don't even know what happened.
What's wrong with double digit? Are you too slender to have a second
It's superstitions.
digit?
It's just a superstition. Like Lamar Odom, Jalen Rose is my favorite player. And Charlie Ward was 17, so he was a double digit. Tommy Frazier 15, but I've just always liked the single digits.
That's pretty funny because I know Dow Loggins' wife.
Oh, Beth, yeah.
Her brother's one of my good friends.
Yeah, man, they're sweethearts. I love both of them.
Yeah, the Burnett's.
Well, Woods, I gotta say, it sounds like if you would have chosen to play hockey, you would have had the Wayne Gretzky number 99. I appreciate your phone call. Good to hear from Woods. We got Charlie on with us next. Tuna. Happy Monday. Happy day after Super Bowl. Happy 2 days after an Arkansas basketball loss. What you got today?
Oh, you would end with that, right? Like
I was setting you up. I thought maybe that was what you would lead into.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'll probably get there. But, I was going to ask you, Phil, since you referred to the callers as beautiful and talented, which one do you put me in as? I mean, I'm okay with either one. I mean, and by the way, Maddie, congratulations, buddy. But I don't know anything about marriage, so I'm not even going to try to judge your comment. I'm just going to say congrats and good luck to you, my friend.
I appreciate it, Charlie.
Charlie, you are consistent. If I was going to come up with one word to describe you, consistency.
Reliable. He's a triple threat. Yeah,
that's
reliable.
Right. Consistency and reliability goes a long way in marriage, even if you're not necessarily beautiful.
I was hoping for beautiful or talented. I was just hoping for it. No, I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, definitely a heck of a game last night, man. It was a great football game. I don't care what anybody says. It was a hold at the end, whatever. Best calls throughout. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give the Chiefs offensive line a lot of credit for giving Patrick Mahomes a lot of time in that second. And when he has time, he can eat you alive. He was really good. They also opened some holes for the run game to keep those guys ahead of the chains, and thought that was key. And they held up pretty well against that unbelievable front of Philly. So it was a great game. And Jalen Hurts, Matt, I was 100% wrong about that dude. I didn't not going into the Super Bowl, but I just meant in general. You're talking about a kid that's been through adversity, and I wish a lot of kids would look at his story and take from it, because this is a guy. How many kids get benched in the national championship game as a freshman and go through, or his second year or whatever year it was, and go through what he went through and bounce back the way he did? Now, granted, he deserved to get benched. Tua outplayed him, and Tua deserved that job, but he learned from that, and he worked hard, and he got better. I just wish a lot of kids would take from that and, not run from, the whole competition thing. He decided to transfer when he graduated, but it's just an unbelievable story. And I wish a lot of kids would look at that and be like, man, you know what? Okay, I got to work harder. And that's just the way it is. But it's just not like that as much anymore. Jalen Hurts is one of the exceptions. Anyways, guys, how much time do I have here for the break? I know you're up against it.
Charlie, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And I mean, look, the guy who lost the Super Bowl last year, Joe Burrow, and it wasn't as public because it wasn't like a benching that occurred in the middle of a game, but he was beaten out at Ohio State. That's why he transferred to LSU.
Yeah, I thought he went Notre Dame then LSU. Like, he transferred a couple of different places. You see it, and man, how are you not a fan of Jalen Hurts? Like, if I'm starting a football team or he's out there, I want Jalen Hurts on my football team. Man, he's a player, he's a competitor. Whatever it is, it might not look the prettiest, but man, he makes the right plays. He just had one little bad play where he fumbled, and other than that, I think he had one or two bad throws, but they weren't. He was really just giving his receivers a chance. It weren't really bad throws again. But man, he's fun to watch. He's going to be good for the next decade. If you're a Philly fan, you got to be excited about Jalen Hurts.
No kidding. I think Philly's going to be I think they're going to be the dominant team in the NFC for at least a few years.
Do you see Dak? So Dak doesn't need to take this personal. I think it could have been whoever the starting quarterback for Dallas Cowboys was, as long as it's not Roger Staubach, that they were going to boo whoever. I just think that's how it is. You're in Arizona. He was Walter Payton Man of the Year. Absolute. Andrew Whitworth, the guy that handed him the award. I got to play my last year in Cincinnati when I was there. He was there. Great dude. He's a Louisiana guy, but man, you could see that was wearing Dak down on his face. To me, that's got to be a little scary if you're a Cowboy fan. He can't even take it out there getting booed, winning that. You could tell it was hurting him a little bit, like inside. I don't know if he's the guy for the Dallas Cowboys to take him to win a title.
Just wait until the boos start coming down at Jerry World. It's different when it's your own fans.
He got one more year, Phil.
Philly quarterbacks have experienced that, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jalen Hurts will. Donovan McNabb did experience that. That's why it's like I'm not rooting against or rooting for fans in this case.
Yeah.
I'm not really feeling all that bad for the Philly fans. Hey, before we go, I want to remind you about Pradco Fishing Lures. They're making right now the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue. So when you're cold water bass fishing on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or you're on the Mighty White fishing for a trophy brown, have the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue with you. It's got that famous rolling action. Doesn't matter if you fish it extremely slow or work fast and heavy current, the Rogue suspends. It's going to stay in the strike zone longer and you can catch more fish. Find the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue at Lurnet.com and tackle stores everywhere. Meanwhile, more halftime after the break.
Crazy Chester followed me and he caught me in the fall.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Love is in the air at Crane Used Car Supercenter of Fort Smith. And dealer-operator Joe Pulliam is making sweetheart deals all month long. Like pre-owned vehicles starting as low as $7,497 or payments as low as $269 a month. You'll fall in love with a Crane Pre-Love with lots to choose from. Kias and Land Rovers to full-size trucks, all backed by the Crane commitment. Rush to the Crane Used Car Supercenter, 8200 US 71 South in Fort Smith. UAC, see you.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Wheeler Power Sports has their showroom packed to help you jumpstart your spring adventures. Off-road accessories such as sound bars, light bars, roofs, windshield, wheel, tire kits, and more. Looking for a new off-road or street vehicle? They are loaded with Polaris, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Kimco, and KO units. Give them a call at 479-783-5822. Online at WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Olympic gold medalists, world record holders, NCAA champions, and more. Watch the greatest track and field athletes in the world compete right here in Fayetteville, Arkansas for the 2023 SEC Indoor Championship. Witness greatness as world-class athletes descend on the world's fastest running surface, the Tyson Indoor Track, on February 24th and 25th on the campus of the University of Arkansas for the SEC crown. Call the Hogs and secure your ticket today at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Roses are red, violets are blue. If I had your bank account, I'd worry about alimony too. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Call today for a free consultation and ask about our special pricing for new divorce filings in February. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
The biggest and best selection of brand new 22 and 23 Fords is at Harry Robinson's Satisol Ford. The 22 F-150. Get a $1,000 rebate and 1.9% financing for 60 months. Ford Bronco Sports, 3.9% for 60 months or 5.9% for 72 months. Plus Mach-E Mustangs, Escapes, and more are ready today with special offers. The best selection of new Fords is at Harry Robinson's Satisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Satisol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Let me ask you something. When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No. No, man. No, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
I am intrinsically no good. I have a heart that's made of wood, and I am only biding time, only reciting memorized lines, and I'm not fit to touch the hem of your garment. I'm not fit to touch the hem of your garment.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I could play, I could listen to Cake for a while here. This is one of my favorite Cake songs. Jen, do you hear that? They're playing our band. Or I could just start to educate Matt Jones on how to hate-love the team that you grew up rooting for. Now that the football
I already
season
like
is
Cake,
officially
so
over.
yeah, we're gonna have to do the hate-love thing. Yeah.
Well, good. You can help me hate love on the Pittsburgh Pirates, the team that literally taught me everything that I love about baseball, and now I hate them to the point where
They brought back your favorite player, Andrew McCutcheon, huh?
Well, I'm happy they're bringing Kutch back.
He's
it's
good.
It's nostalgic. He's nowhere near the player he was.
He
back
was
then.
a NL MVP candidate, wasn't he? When
he was an NL MVP.
That's
one
what
year.
I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, now I root for them to lose every single game. Literally, I want them to go 0-162 so I can watch them totally screw up the overall first draft choice. So now that the baseball season is approaching, Bet Saracen's got all of the baseball specials up on the app right now. You can give your over-under on regular season wins for your favorite team or your least favorite team in this case. So Cardinals fans, they've got Bet Saracen's got the Cardinals at an over-under win total of 88.5. I see them going over that. The Pirates 67.5. Look, it's going to be the third year in a row they lose 100 games, so I'd take the under. The under on that one all the way.
That's got to be, as a fan, those lean years we had at Arkansas when Coach Bielema was here in the Chad Morris era and all whatever. But when you go back-to-back years and don't win conference game, man, it's as a fan, man, it's depressing in a way, man. You want your team to at least put some effort and at least look okay, but just to get embarrassed week in, week out, it's never any fun.
It just bothers me because it's like there's all these teams that have chances to do something that might be a surprise, and the biggest surprise for the Pirates is that they could actually get 9 people to dress in their uniform for a baseball game. Ryan in Hot Springs has been holding for a while. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Oh, going pretty good. Y'all were talking about love and hate while I was waiting. I've got that going on with the Chiefs right now. So I grew up in a household where we rooted for Denver first, but we as long as they weren't playing Kansas City, we rooted for Kansas City.
How'd that work with divisional opponents? Yeah.
Well, we weren't so. We're college fans first, so
Okay.
like that's kind of our deal. So we pay attention to the NFL, but our passion is college football. So that's kind of where that comes from. But anyway, so now I've got an uncle who is a team hopper, and he has now decided to hop on a Chiefs fan base. Well, the problem with the situation is with his DirecTV, he only records the game. He records the games and only watches if they win. So now I'm just like, I don't want to see the Chiefs win, which I was still kind of rooting for him last night, but at the same time, like, I don't want to give him anything to gloat about. You know what I'm saying? So
wait a minute. He records the game, but then finds out what the outcome was, and then watches it. This is like the person that reads the last chapter of a book before they start it, so that they know what the ending is in case that person dies before they get to the end of the book.
But yeah, so he only watches if they win. But anyway, I had a couple other things I want to talk about too, real quick. I agreed with Matt. If I had a son right now, Jalen Hurts is who I would hope my son looked up to as a role model, at least in the NFL. Just the way he carries himself, the way he's handled all of his adversity, is awesome.
Absolutely.
And then the last comment I was going to talk about, y'all. I always hear y'all talk about the Smithwick Ryland Road. I've got several, and I've called in on this on the morning show. So, man, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not just a cold water bait. That's an excellent, well-rounded bait. And 3 of my best fish that I've ever caught, 3 different species, personal best, have come on the Rogue. Caught a almost 15-pound striper on one. Caught a largemouth over 5 on one, and I also caught my biggest walleye has come on one. So it's more than just a cold water bait. Just going to say that, and I just wanted to kind of, talk it up a little bit. And I hope y'all have a great day, and go Hogs.
Well, if Bruce Stanton is listening, and he's vice president and general manager of Pradco, and they make the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue along with 19 other lures, Ryan in Hot Springs is the caller here, and he might need to be your spokesperson. We have some callers that are spokespeople on some other stations. Ryan in Hot Springs just did himself about a 60-second commercial and wanted to have the Smithwick Original Suspended Rattling Rogue with it. And he hung up before I could ask him his favorite place to fish.
Nobody will tell you that. They tell you their 7th favorite place, or they give you a general, but any fisherman, they won't tell you where they catch these fish.
One of the first things I learned about you, Matt Jones, you and I were doing a fill-in show together on the previous station, and this was summertime, so it was kind of slower conversation. And I opened up the conversation because I was about to take my son fishing. And I said, all right, I need to know your favorite fishing holes. And you looked at me cross-eyed as if I just asked the dumbest question on earth, and then you explained why. And it's sort of funny that you and I are still friends after that, because I thought maybe you thought I was a moron.
No, growing up, you going fishing in 7th grade or something, and somebody be like, where you catch those fish? And you tell them where you catch it, and Pops is like, hey, that's not information for everybody, man. That's our spot. That's the spot we go. If you tell everybody, then there's not gonna be any fish left. They all gonna go catch them.
Matt, favorite NFL team? What is it?
I'm a players guy, but I'm going Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, that's the team that took a chance on me, and there's nothing else to be said. But
is there anything that could get you to root against the Jaguars the way I root against the Pirates?
Oh, I do not have a love for any NFL team, so to speak, like that. Like, I'm a Liverpool fan, so there we go. Like, if you're just talking about a fan of being like, man, this is who I like. I watch Liverpool, and they have been atrocious this year. It's like they don't even know what they're doing out there. It's out of control from what they've been. They'd set the bar so high, though. Their last 3 or 4 years, man, they've really been killing it. But they don't have midfield. I mean, the fact that they can get 9 players to suit up for them. You're just watching their midfield, and you're just like, are y'all not going to go sign another midfielder? You got one guy, and he keeps getting hurt, and then all your other guys. So I can get fired up about some Liverpool soccer, yeah.
Well, it's the same way about the Pirates, but we'll reintroduce how bad are the Pirates today once we get into the Major League season. Bet Saracen right now has the Cardinals as the odds-on favorite to win the National League Central. The Dodgers and the Astros, the odds-on favorites in their respective leagues. So with baseball season really starting soon, you got pitchers and catchers reporting, and opening days 6-7 weeks away. Have the Bet Saracen app on your Apple iPhone or on any of the Google Android phones BetSaracen also works on any web browser at betsaracen.com. Day by day, Major League Baseball will be in swing soon. The Vegas odds and the odds on the BetSaracen app quite often are different. And you got to be in Vegas to bet the Vegas odds anyway, because Arkansas law doesn't allow those big national apps to operate in our state. So if you want the most accurate and up-to-date sports wagering info, be on the BetSaracen app. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. We'll come right back after this.
While most of us are familiar with the opioid epidemic, we forget about the threat we faced for decades, methamphetamine. Meth is our biggest drug threat, and the number of people dying each year continues to grow. It's destroying our communities. You know, you've seen it. It might not have been your kid or your parent, but it was someone you know. To find ways to help, go to meovermeth.org. Choose your community. Choose your family. Choose yourself. I choose me over meth.
This message is sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and the Me Over Meth grant.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Searching for a promising career change? Looking for an established company that pays competitively and values its team members? Then come be a part of the Beckert family. Beckert in Van Buren has immediate openings for production operators paying up to $29 an hour. Sundays are paid at time and a half, and night shift work has an added premium of $1 per hour. Applications are available 24/7 at Beckert, located off I-40 at Exit 3. Apply today.
It's a new year. Why not put a new to you vehicle in your driveway? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your vehicle today, and that means you can get out of your old ride and into a great car, truck, or SUV from Road Chevrolet. In fact, trucks starting at only $14,482. Yeah, trucks starting at $14,482. Find new roads. Road Chevrolet, just off I-540 exit 2A Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, the tweet is still up from Oklahoma State University. You know that field that we watched the Super Bowl on yesterday, where it really didn't look like you could have tried to plant a sword inside that grass, and you still would have slipped trying to just dig it in there at all. I've never seen so much slippage.
Yeah, well, you got to get some. Denver had a field like that too, so it's kind of the same terrain, huh? Arizona, Denver, but that you always had to wear just a little bit bigger spike in your cleat, and you saw that happen. When you're warming up, it's not as bad, but then you got to go to the 3/8 instead of the 5/8. You know, you got to go a little bigger.
Guys were still slipping in the second half, even if they had a chance to change their cleats. This was called Tahoma 31, a hybrid of Bermuda grass, as my old boss Bill Valentine used to call it, Bermuda grass, and ryegrass, developed at Oklahoma State. So this turf apparently had been growing at a sod farm in Oklahoma for 18 months, and then you might have seen the video on social media of them rolling the grass out of the stadium to get some sunshine on a daily basis. So, I mean, you should be proud about a kind of turf that's being developed and then grown at your university. But the field was really kind of a black mark on the game yesterday. The stadium is nice. The game was great. The performances around the game and in the middle of the game were very good. But the field was not of its best, not the best. Quality might not be the right way to put it. And I don't really know enough about field turf management to have an opinion on how to handle something like that. But it was not the best football field for the Super Bowl. And I guess Spencer tells us the same turf that the Razorbacks use at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. But, I mean, that wasn't that. I don't remember slippage necessarily being all that much of a problem at Razorback games.
You have those 7 studs, and yeah, you got your rubber, your plastic, then your 7. I mean, a 5. Sometimes you got to go to a full inch, but you got to dig something in there, and because I much rather play on that grass than field turf. I mean, so that's the deal. It's given a little bit, and they're so used to playing on field turf where you dig in there, you tear up your knee, you tear up your ankle. So you can't wear the same spikes that you wear. The one thing, Phil, is as a coach and they prepare for everything, I'd be practicing on the same grass that we're playing the field on. Whatever the Super Bowl grass is, I'd be finding a place to practice on that before, which all your work's done, but just so they're running around on it for the 2 weeks leading up to the game where you're getting used to it, because it is a little different. And you hate it when you have a chance to make a play in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden you got to go change your cleats and you don't slip. I mean, it's like you could have not slipped if you would have had the right spikes on. Oh well, I still like the turf better than the field turf.
So with the idea that Oklahoma State has literally their own turf that they've invented, why does T. Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater use field turf They don't even use the same turf. They don't use natural grass for Oklahoma State football games. And you got a university that's an agricultural school that is growing the grass used at the Super Bowl and a lot of other games. So I don't know if that necessarily computes for me. Otherwise, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, it's like it's a cost thing. It's a money saving idea.
It's not. You put down the pellets on that field and roll it down on that field turf, and you ain't got to touch it. You don't have to water it. You don't have to cut it. You don't have to fertilize it. You don't have to paint the grass. I mean, you think about all the money you save, but it's worse on your body. It's worse. That's just America. That's the capitalist way, right? It's like how worse can we make it if it's cheaper? Then we'll still do it. I mean, that's just all they're doing, because any athlete, any player that's played on both surfaces, it's 100% to zero. Everybody wants to play on regular grass. You don't want to play on field turf. It's not. I mean, when you get tackled and it's not fun. It's not it. It's just a money saving deal.
Arkansas baseball plays at Globe Life Field this next weekend in the I forget the name of the tournament, but Globe Life Field also. And I remember this. Like Dave likes to laugh about this. When I wasn't allowed to go into the dugout or onto the field during the 2021 season, at that point, I couldn't get down on the field and see that was an artificial surface. And so I said, as a man, this grass surface is terrific. Well, they use what's called Shaw Sports B1K artificial turf. It looks like grass from afar. It plays like grass too. I wanted to ask you about this too, because I could see this with a baseball field. Like, I remember going to Mizzou last year, and you could see spots on their field turf that were totally worn out, and I think it cost them a game at one point because their shortstop slipped going behind second base for a play that if he was at Baum, he wouldn't have slipped because it's natural grass. Basketball floors. Have you ever gone onto a court and thought to yourself, yeah, this one ain't it? This is dangerous. And there's one at the top of the list for me, and I don't think this is where Florida International plays any longer, but they used to play in what felt like a glorified high school gym called Farmed Arena, and it's Miami. No air conditioning. I mean, it was the slipperiest basketball surface I've ever seen in my life. It was like the thing was constantly sweating. Was there a field that you'd walked onto or a court you'd walked onto, Matt, where you thought, yeah, this ain't it?
Well, and to the there would be like a church gym or something, not at that level, but it might be like a place that a cafeteria that they bring all the tables back.
I played in one of those once.
Right.
Played in the Catholic Youth Organization with my Jewish Community Center team. Yeah, we were the odd
Anything
team out.
spills on the floor, man, you got to wipe it up because everybody's going to slip and slide on that and hurt. Yes, you're exactly
It was like
right.
The white tiles. We're playing on white tiles that chili was spilled on earlier in the morning. It's just ridiculous. I was listening to a D1 baseball podcast the other day, and there are college baseball teams. Like, I did this in high school because, and we talked about this last week, where you'd have a morning practice at 6 in the morning in the basketball gym because the basketball team had it at night or in the afternoon, and it's 35 degrees outside, so you're not going outside to practice baseball. So we would take ground balls on a hardwood floor. Man, there are college baseball teams that do that. It's amazing to think about this. Like, you've got this amazing 2 indoor facilities at Arkansas.
Yeah.
And on that, let's say no team in the SEC is doing this. No team in the Big 12 is doing this. Some of the schools up north, they're practicing baseball on basketball floors.
It's got to be hard in recruiting because you're looking around and you see this in the transfer window in the portal that kids want to get to SEC. You want to get to the nicer facilities, and a lot of times college facilities are better than the pro facilities. I mean, think about Wrigley Field. Just a few years ago, didn't they put in a batting cage? Like, you had to go all the way around the arena to the stadium to go get cuts in. So it's a lot of the college, there's a lot more money. But the thing about the field turf to grass is you can have an event at 12 o'clock on Tuesday. You can have a different event at 8 o'clock that night, and again the next morning. You can just keep rotating them out. If you got a grass field, you got to let it repair it. So, it takes a week before you can have another game.
And you don't ever have to repair the divots. 877-377-6963 for any thoughts on that. Jason in Mountain Home played in a junior high gym that was carpet. So not only, carpet burns while you're playing basketball. A little bit different.
You don't want to fall.
Scott remembers cork basketball courts. I don't think I ever played on one of those, but heck, that would be a little bit bouncier than you'd expect. All right, we better take a quick break. Before we go, we'll remind you that it is showtime at Crabtree RV Center. Later this week, they host the Greater River Valley RV Show starting the 16th and going through the 19th. Crabtree RV Center is giving you the best prices of the year on their inventory and accessories. Special sale pricing on every RV on the lot. That's during the Greater River Valley RV Show at Crabtree RV Center, located off I-40, exit 13, next to the Cracker Barrel in Alma. CrabtreeRV.com for more information. Hour number 2 of Halftime to wrap up next.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low-mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor. Where can you get RV show pricing without the RV show crowd? Breen RV in Van Buren. This month only, we are paying your sales tax on all 22 trailers in stock. Save thousands from Forest River, Coachman, Keystone, and Thor. Don't worry about payments for 90 days. Get free maintenance for life and all of your state sales tax paid at Breen RV. Check out the new Sunray that weighs less than 2,000 pounds. Don't wait until spring. Come by Breen RV today and let us show you how easy it is to buy a new or used RV.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, your home for inflation elimination. We're on a mission to make used cars affordable for everyone. Our live market value pricing ensures you always get a great deal, and Rath Road Ready Reconditioning makes sure you always get a great vehicle. This month, we're making it even easier with up to $3,300 extra for your trade and prices up to $4,700 below retail. We know a lot of people have been waiting for just the right time to buy, and this is it. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. And for a real hedge against rising prices, ask about our exclusive Meineke Miles service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They could save you another 20%. If you're ready to save some real money on a quality used vehicle and experience a better way to drive, call, click, or come by today. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, the home of inflation elimination, just north of Phoenix on Towson or online at rathauto.com.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Wake up, Maggie, I think I got something to say to you. It's late September and I really should be back.
listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Who was the supermodel Rod Stewart married? Was it Kathy Ireland? What do you think if she ever played that to Rod? If there would have been a little extra meaning behind that, given he was like 20 years older than her. Anyway. This Matt Damon, Ben Affleck movie called Air.
Yes.
It looks pretty good, doesn't it?
I'm a Matt Damon fan. Anything he does, and then Michael Jordan. I don't even know if he's in the movie or whatever.
I was gonna say, who's playing Michael Jordan in this movie?
Right. But the girl we were just talking about, I need to look up her name, but it's the one that's in the movie Doubt. She's in the movie. Look up her name.
It's the last Affleck Damon movie, man. I mean,
Good Will Hunting.
Is that really the last one?
I mean, I can't. That's what I was telling Matt during the break. I thought that when it first started, I
Viola
thought it was
Davis.
I thought it was one of these joke movies, or joke trailers. Like I thought it was a parody of something, or I was like, oh, this is actually a movie with these two guys now about this story. Is what they decided to decide. It needed to be a movie. This was such a fascinating story how this shoe came about.
Well, I mean, it's the most
most
influential
iconic
set of
sneaker,
shoes that I know of.
But who thought that there was like an interesting story behind it?
Well, I mean, it's the first one that I don't know if it was the first one to get to be like branded using an athlete's name, but I think the whole point is that he was an untested rookie, and they decided to go with they wanted to go with him. The other aspect is like Phil Knight. That's what Ben Affleck is playing. Damon is playing Sonny Vaccaro, who. Man, I think there were a lot of under the table things that went down with Vaccaro and some of the college basketball icons that we're familiar with
in the 80s.
The way they treat that, and in the 90s, the way they treat that will be incredibly interesting.
Oh, Jeremiah said Dogma they were in together. That's right.
There was some okay commercials there. I don't
what was
watch
the best one.
To get to see this Matt Damon, Ben Affleck movie, I was
it.
excited. And then the Dave Grohl, that's what Phil was saying. The
Crown Royal.
Yeah, that was good. That was
the
funny.
Adam Driver commercial was kind of weird.
He's kind of weird.
Yeah,
though.
he's
kind of goofy. Yeah, he's just a little too goofy for me. Yeah.
Isn't he from Little Rock?
He has a connection. I think his parents live in Little Rock.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I like the Breaking Bad pop chips.
That was
commercial.
good. Yeah.
I thought that was the best.
Had
one.
those chips. They're okay.
They're okay. The commercial was better.
Yeah.
Third hour of halftime next.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric has been the most trusted heating and air company in Arkansas for more than 50 years. As the winter weather changes from hot to cold, trust the pros at Pascal to ensure your system is performing at its best. Right now, get a heating tune-up for only $99 per system. Want full protection and member discounts? It's only $1 more per visit. Call today or visit GoPascal.com to schedule online anytime. Professional people, professional service. GoPascal.com.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing. They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high this afternoon in the low to mid 60s. There's a chance of seeing some showers tonight. Overnight lows will drop down in the mid to upper 40s. Chance of showers on Tuesday. Our high right around the 60-degree mark. Wednesday, sunshine returning with falling temperatures. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Metters Lumber True Value, with locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville. There's always a Metters Lumber near you.
Here we go. From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
For this town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
So I think it's going to be understood. And we knew this going into Saturday, Arkansas, Mississippi State. You're trying to work in a special talent into a rotation where roles had started to become figured out and accepted at the same time. And you can't ask a Nick Smith, as talented as he is, to, just kind of be a bit player, I think. In 17 minutes on Saturday, that's going to grow into the 20s as we continue to move on. Maybe at some point he works himself into the starting rotation, but I think that'll depend on the matchup because Muss certainly does like to have the Mitchell twins out there as starters. But Mackay, something's gone on with Mackay here because he's getting a lot of fouls, fouled out in just over 11 minutes. Mikkel has kind of stepped in front of him as the more productive player and just being able to stay on the court on a more routine basis. But Smith doesn't get their minutes necessarily, and nor did he get Devo Davis's minutes. He got a few of what I think Jordan Walsh's minutes would have been.
I do think that the way the game unfolded was why he got those minutes. I think that if the game would have been closer, I don't think Nick Smith would have played hardly at all. I think it would have been one of those deals where we needed a spark. We needed something to happen, so he's looking down there, and this is the most talented guy we got, even though he's not in shape and all these things. But 80% of Nick Smith is still better than a lot of people at 100%. So I think that the flow of the game dictated, I think, how much minutes he got. The thing, Phil, watching him play, you got to be encouraged. I was so encouraged watching him run up and down the court. He was jumping around. He was enthusiastic. He was playing hard. I think he starts. I think you put him in the starting lineup against A&M, and we go. That was his game. You saw what he could do. He's going to play probably 25 to 30. I think you just let him go. I mean, I'd put him in the starting lineup right away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games left. If he's our guy and he is the most talented guy on the team, you put him in. You put him in the starting lineup. I don't know who you set out. If it's Devo or Ricky, maybe Ricky. But then you bring Ricky and Jordan Walsh. Maybe Jordan Walsh with his foul trouble, but Jordan Walsh needs more minutes. Jordan Walsh is so athletic. We need him out on the floor if we want any chance to make a run in March.
I mean, the issue. wasn't necessarily offensively for Arkansas. They had that really rough first half. It's defensively overall.
And making open shots.
Making open shots. That's exactly right. And I think Arkansas just is a much more talented offensive team than Mississippi State.
100%.
Once they start
yes.
knocking down threes at the tune of 6 out of 10, like, man, this might not be our day. You know, I mean, that's not a team that should be knocking down 6 out of 10 3-pointers. They've had some other games where they've knocked down 6, but just not on 10 attempts. And they average 66 points a game. So for them to get over that, like I think 64, the way Arkansas had been playing defensively of late, 64 so often now feels like it's enough for the Razorbacks to win a game. But, they just didn't really have, I don't know how to put it. It's just it wasn't a matter of effort. Just defensively, just not quite at the same level that we'd seen over the 5-game conference winning streak.
Yeah, we look like the Hogs of a month and a half ago. I think there's a little bit of something to be said about 18, 19-year-old kids not having the veteran guys, and you just go into Rupp and you win this game, so everybody's telling you how pretty you are and how good you are. Oh, y'all got it going on. Now Nick Smith is coming back. The best player you got on your team, he's coming back. Oh, who can beat you now? Nobody. So I think there's a little bit of that. And then you still got to learn to play together. I mean, LeBron James, best basketball player in the planet, they didn't win the championship his first year. I mean, when you see these guys make these trades in the pros, it still takes them a while to congeal and to get to know where everybody's going to be. And so it just takes, like you saw that, if you remember the play, it was a 3-pointer in the second half. Anthony Black's driving. Nick Smith's guy reaches down to help on him, and Nick Smith just throws the ball straight at when Anthony Black and Nick Smith still going down to the corner. That's a play that won't happen once they get playing. They'll know where to fill each other out, and that's a wide open 3-point shot for Nick Smith. So that's another. I mean, they're going to figure it out. I was actually, maybe I'm in the minority. I'm actually okay with the performance that they not the performance of that we got beat, but Nick Smith's performance out there, man. That dude's the real deal, man. He's going to help us out.
I just worry that that shooting wise, they've been shooting better of late. Like, Devo's shot had been falling of late, but 2 out of 11. Like, he's such a difference maker for this team on both sides of the court. So Scott points out on the text line, stretch of 10 minutes, stretch of 6 minutes where they scored 2 points total.
Well, Devo missed some bunnies too. Like he got a shot blocked. He missed like 3 or 4 layups that like you're not used to him missing.
And you had open looks because Mississippi State was daring you to shoot that 3.
That's how you got to play
Arkansas.
Yep,
18 of them. That's right. That's why I guess it felt like a surprise when Kentucky just manned you up and dared you to try to take it to the hole, and you could utilize that pick and roll.
Yep, there's a little alpha, a little ego there. When you have the better athletes, the better talent, you want to kind of go man. And then when you're not as good and you're trying to take any advantage you can, you're trying to slow the game down, kind of like what Philadelphia did to Kansas City. I think if there was another 5 minutes in that basketball game, Arkansas would have came back and beat Mississippi State. And going forward, you got to go back and watch film, Phil. You go back, you watch film, and you get better. You say, hey, these are little mistakes that are happening. That's too late in the year to be having these mistakes. But the one thing that I absolutely love about this team is they're not lack of effort mistakes. This team plays hard. They give you everything they got every time they hit the floor.
Well, the AP rankings came out. Hogs got 4 votes on the amongst the writers. Alabama is number 1. Houston ranked number 2. Those 2 schools getting the bulk of the first-place votes. 22 first-place votes for Houston. Purdue took their 3rd loss. They're ranked 3rd. Then it's UCLA, Kansas, Texas, Virginia, Arizona, Baylor, and Tennessee dropped 4 spots with those 2 buzzer-beater losses to 10th in the country. So going up against A&M on Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Arkansas beat the Aggies the last time 81-70, and that's one of only 3 games in conference where the Hogs have put up 80 points or more. Taking a look at A&M this last weekend, and this is a team that's been playing well, and since they got a loss against Arkansas, it's tough to beat a team twice in 1 year, although I just saw the women's team do that against Missouri A&M, well, they throttled LSU 74-62. LSU's just playing out the string by now, and they're finally under 500. Think about that. They were 1-11 in the SEC, LSU. They are finally under 500 overall at 12-13. So I guess they didn't really play anybody.
It's the worst team I've seen play in SEC this year, and they beat the Hogs. I mean, they're pretty bad. South Carolina's bad too. Ole Miss. I mean, Mississippi State doesn't have a lot of athletes. They were just a better coach team. They knew their plan. They had their identity. They knew what they were going to do, and they went out there and imposed their defense on us.
The women's team yesterday imposed some serious defense on Missouri. Arkansas has been playing in the SEC since '92, and yesterday was the fewest points allowed in a conference game since they joined the SEC. Missouri is a team that works to get good shots, and they usually do get good shots, but they just couldn't yesterday. Arkansas holds them to 28% shooting, and I remember asking Mike Neighbors about it in our pregame talk because they had an 11-minute scoreless streak in the first game, holding Mizzou the first time to an 11-minute scoreless streak. He said, well, you can't expect to do that. Well, they didn't have an 11-minute scoreless streak. What they had was one that was 7 minutes, one that was 4.5 minutes, and another that was 6 minutes long. So that also felt to me like a must-win game. You're at the point of the season where, like, you do have must-win games now. If you're going to make your statement for the committee, you got to beat the teams that you're expected to beat. And I feel like Arkansas was expected to beat Mississippi State, partially because it's a home game. And maybe that's the reason why, because it's a home game. You know, I still don't necessarily trust going on the road to beat a really good team, especially one that's playing well. And, I mean, you can't discount that Mississippi State just has gotten on a roll right now. And a team that believes in defense, that can win games in that style, man, that's how they beat TCU. That's how they won the previous 3 games. So that is a team that's rolling. It's just, I feel like you got to win your home games, and I think, what was Arkansas favored by, 5.5?
I think
that was legit. That, yeah. They were playing really well. That's why it was such a surprise.
Well, it starts with the coach. It starts with Coach Musselman, and I know that he'll take accountability for it, and he knows it starts with him. But he got out coached. There's no reason Mississippi State should come into Bud Walton and beat you. So, I mean, it starts with Coach Muss, and he got out coached at Mississippi State. He can't get out coached at any more home games, especially any more road games. But that's his one. That's the one game where they did everything a little bit better, and for whatever reason it happens. Usually Coach Musselman doesn't get out coached. Usually he is the better coach. But, I mean, there's no excuses for Mississippi State. That team is not talented enough to come in here and have you down 16 points. Dude, we were down 16 points with 16 minutes to go in the second half. No excuses for that.
Well, at that point, you're like game, set, match, but there was still a lot of time to make a run, and the Hogs did make a couple of runs. But you're not going to feel good about, getting back from 16 and losing by 6. By the way, speaking of Chris Jans, the Mississippi State coach, you see what's going on with the school that he was previously at New Mexico State?
The Lobos, no.
No, that's the Aggies.
Oh, sorry, the Aggies.
The Lobos.
Yeah.
So, and I guess I remembered reading about this in November. There was a player that killed somebody due to self-defense, and members of the basketball team, including, I think, the coaching staff, hid some of the evidence from investigators. And now the entire New Mexico State basketball program has been put on suspension, on pause, the coaching staff on paid leave because of hazing allegations, which, I mean, that can be a broad term. Hazing sometimes is really just verbal in some cases. This is not going to be a verbal situation with that program. Jans had run that program. I think they made it to the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row. And now I don't know the name of the new coach, or it escapes me. Man, they've completely imploded without Chris Jans. And it's getting pretty ugly there in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Yeah, no, he's I don't know a lot about him, Phil, but I in my experience, I was lucky to have the coaches I had, because there might be veterans kind of picking on the rookies, but there was no hazing. There was none of that tomfoolery, messing around. It's like, hey man, we're all brothers. If you want somebody to carry your pads in for you, if you're a veteran and you want a rookie or a freshman to carry, that's about the extent of the hazing we did. There was none of what uncalled. And Houston Nutt, Jack Del Rio, they had both been rookies and freshmen before too, been veteran players, coaches, so they've kind of seen it a little bit. And Coach Del Rio told us about when he was in New Orleans. They'd get in this line and they would go down a row and everybody could throw like a pillow or they could throw something and hit them and you kind of had to go through the gauntlet or whatever. They said people put in rolls of money and were swinging a pillowcase and hit somebody in the head and gave them like you can't give kids that are 22 years old. We're not the smartest when we're 22, so you can't do that. So I was lucky enough to be around a lot of people that we didn't have a lot of hazing going on.
So they didn't do the thing with you where they would ask you to show exactly how much you can bench press and then turn you into a giant ice cream sundae.
They shaved our hair, and then we had to do like a talent show, like all the rookies get together, and you got to kind of get up, and they shoot water gun, and you do it like a little bit for 30 minutes. It's just whatever. They make you sing your fight song and stand up.
They call it team building sometimes.
Yeah, that's the type of hazing that's acceptable. That you could stand up and sing your fight song or do stuff like that, but it wasn't anything bad.
I know a couple of players off of New Mexico State.
That's a bad deal.
They've left the program because of whatever's going on. That makes you think that these were the two kids that were being hazed. Anyway, it's kind of ugly over there. Hey, if you live in the city limits of Charleston and you're beat down by unreliable, slow internet, there is good news coming from Wave Rural Connect. They've got their fast internet services available to you right now. And you can sign up in Charleston at Life Church. 3366 West Main is the address. They're there right now up until 5:30. So you go over to Life Church, sign up, and get good internet. Simple as that. You can also go online and sign up for Wave Rural Connect. That's signup.waveruralconnect.com. Wave Rural Connect is a local internet provider, fast rural internet from Wave Rural Connect. We'll talk college football with Connor O'Gara next on Halftime.
I gazed gazeless there at all the millions here. We must have died alone a long, long time ago. Who knows? Not me. We never lost control. Your face to face with the man who solved the world.
You could win the ultimate Valentine's Day getaway. Head to hitthatline.com and register to win a getaway to the Arlington Hotel in historic downtown Hot Springs.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates. Quality people to join the Fence.
If you are all that you see, then maybe I'm moving way too slow. I've been fooled before, wouldn't like to get my love caught in the slamming door. How about some information, please? Straight up now, tell me, do you really wanna love me forever? Or am I caught in a hit and run?
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Time to talk with Connor O'Gara, national columnist, Saturday Down South, here the day after the Super Bowl, which means, Connor, well, the football season is over as far as college and the NFL. We get USFL, XFL still coming up. They're finally going to be battling it out or anything like that. Now, I know you'll watch the spring games when they do come out. What about the two minor leagues of professional football? Any chance you're watching those?
Orlando has an XFL team, so I'm not opposed to that. I'm old enough to remember going to the debut of the Alliance of American Football, wherein a certain Steve Spurrier led the best team in the AAF, the Orlando Apollos. Who could forget? Print the T-shirts. I think they got rings for it. So I'm not opposed to it, but I can't say that I'm going to be totally locked in. The DVR is not exactly it's not locked and loaded for minor league football just yet.
Yeah, because there's college basketball, there's college baseball, and the major leagues and all of that seem to matter a little bit more. So how about the Super Bowl? That was an entertaining game. Maybe a little bit of an anticlimactic ending, but great performances all around. Kansas City might have got the benefit of a call that looked like the right call at the end of the game again, and that's just going to fuel the conspiracy theorists that still adhere to the NFL going by a script.
Yeah, look, those people didn't hear James Bradbury come out and say after the game, like, yeah, I held him. I was hoping that I'd get away with it. I mean, that's kind of lost in the shuffle of all that. But, yeah, I mean, don't let anything get in the way of a good conspiracy theory, I guess. Game was awesome. Ending was terrible. sometimes that's just what it is. It doesn't always have to be like the NFL is rigged or they wanted the Chiefs to win or whatever. Even, the alternative, Travis Kelce coming out afterwards once again and saying nobody wanted the Chiefs to win or, nobody believes in us, not a single person. It's like, all right, let's move on from this. You guys were the number one overall seed with the best player on the planet. Let's take a chill pill a little bit. But yeah, it was a great game. And it was fun to see Jalen Hurts shine on that stage. The worst case scenario for somebody that did not have a rooting interest in that game would be to watch Pat Mahomes look significantly better than Jalen Hurts throughout that game, and then have all the Jalen Hurts doubters come out of the woodwork after years of being proven wrong and come out and say, oh, yeah, see, he's just not on that level, blah, blah, blah. And that's just not the case. And I think, you even hear Mahomes say afterwards, like, there should be no doubt anymore. This guy's phenomenal. And it got me kind of thinking, faces of the NFL for the next 10 years, Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow. If that's the three faces of your league
and
moving
your guy
forward, I think the league.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, and Herbert too.
Yeah, I need to see him win a playoff game first.
Fair enough.
Say that, but that's just me.
Oh, well, I was going to ask you about Jalen Hurts because I know when he was coming out, and I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. I think he's just a football player. He's a competitor. He's a winner. Devontae Smith, a guy that I thought he was a can't miss receiver. A.J. Brown is just he is a man. When you watch A.J. Brown play receiver, that's how men. I mean, he's an absolute just beast out there. But Jalen Hurts, I did not think he was going to have this much success this early. Has he exceeded your expectations?
Wildly. I mean, wildly. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Like, I think in this day and age, it's so easy to get caught up in a take, in rooting against people because you want your take to be proven right. And I'm happy to be wrong about Jalen Hurts. Like, so wrong, thinking I knew what his ceiling was. And we talked about this a little bit last week, but to me, like, you just see it on that stage. I mean, some of the throws that he's making, like, you're just like, this guy he's gotten so precise, and he makes every throw that you need. And yeah, like, he doesn't always have the most unbelievable arm, from a Josh Allen standpoint, but like, he just makes up for it in so many other ways. Like, every single time, like, Matt, you've been in these situations before. How easy did Jalen Hurts make 3rd and 1 look like the Chiefs were already moving in the other direction every single time he lined up for a QB sneak? To me, like, I'll take Jalen Hurts on my team any day.
And they're so good at, like, at short yardage. I mean, really short yardage with that little rugby scrum.
That's what I was going to say. They had to, it looks they were getting low, man. Kelce, oh my goodness, I ain't seen a center do what he's been doing.
Now that's a rule change in the NFL from this last year. You can't do that in college football, right?
I don't think so. And maybe maybe that's something that NFL teams should be doing more of. And I understand you want to protect the investment, you don't want to get the quarterback hurt and all that. But, like, I mean, think of how many critical situations we see a game come down to. And Nick Sirianni every single time is like, yep, I don't care if you know what we're doing. Like, we get so caught up in this era of modern offenses of trying to be unpredictable and not knowing what the other is going to do. And sometimes it's best to just say, I know I have an advantage every single time I run this play. I'll tell you we're running it, and we're just going to do it. And that's bully ball, and Alabama fans will tell you that it's frustrating that their team has gotten away from that premise. But it's just not such an easy thing to execute. You have to have the right guy in place under center to be able to do that. Jalen Hurts certainly appears like he's that guy.
All right. Oklahoma and Texas, man. We got to get into this because it's actually happening a year early, which we knew this was all going to. Like, did anybody really think that the Big Ten would expand to 16 and the SEC would stay at 14 for 1 year with the expansion of the college football playoff? It was square peg, round hole right there. I never believed that Texas and Oklahoma would stick to that contract. And truthfully, Connor, when you look at, like, it comes down to money, right? Comes down to money. What did I read? SEC schools got $49.9 million on the disbursement from the Southeastern Conference. Texas and Oklahoma are paying $50 million to get out. So they'll make that back immediately, like the next year once they finally join the league, and then some. Like, nobody thought that this wasn't going to happen.
Well, you had to make the TV partners happy too, and that was the issue with Fox and ESPN. That was the holdup, and they had to kind of make right on that agreement. And part of that contract and the way that it was able to be solved was agreeing to shift the Michigan-Texas series so that Michigan and Texas would play a non-conference game in Ann Arbor, a game that would be on Fox in 2024. So they kind of had to make sure that all parties were on board. But Like this time last week, I was saying, hey, I don't know that this is going to happen, even though there's, like you said, all the motivation for it to happen. And it's not that Texas and Oklahoma are worried about the money that they're going to make when they come into the SEC, but you have to make all parties happy. And that's why there's so much often red tape, or whatever you want to call it, surrounding these situations. Like, go look at all of the holdups right now with the ACC and the grant of rights contract that has them locked in to 2036 with their current TV contract. I mean, it's just not always that easy to get out of it, even though you obviously see the motivation from one side or multiple sides, when very oftentimes we're talking about three parties involved needing to get their way. And in this situation, it did. And now we're going to have a very new era of college football starting in 2024.
So you think Texas and Oklahoma are just two A-plus, top tier additions? And do you think that SEC will make another addition in the next 4 or 5 years and bring in somebody else?
So here's the funny thing, and I won't rule that out. That would be, it would need to be the exact right fit. I don't see that being as imminent right now.
Mm-hmm.
And now if the Big Ten were to add a couple, and then the SEC is like, all right, we should add a couple because why wouldn't we? And as long as the ACC grant of rights deal is in place, then I think that's a potential holdup, because I think a lot of those potential suitors are in the ACC. So that's kind of, puts a stop in the midst of that. But where I think this is interesting is Texas and Oklahoma have a way of benefiting the SEC in such a significant way, but not necessarily hurting the SEC or cannibalizing the SEC. And here's what I mean by that. They're pretty vulnerable right now. Oklahoma just had its worst season since 1998. Texas is going into year 3 with Sark not really being sold that he's the long-term guy. His buyout's still going to be $18 million after this season, so kind of TBD on that. But Texas has had one top 10 season since, they went to the national championship and lost to Alabama in 2009.
Is that Colt McCoy? Yeah, that's been that while, huh? Yeah.
That's it. But, think about that. I mean, and you get to benefit, if you're the SEC, from their brands, and you get that in your TV contracts. You get to benefit from that with the playoff selection committee with the 12-team playoffs starting in 2024, and you're going to get the benefit of the doubt as the super conference, which you are, but is it maybe blown out of proportion a little bit what Texas and Oklahoma are in this day and age? Probably right now, yeah. So the SEC is actually kind of lucking out from all of this, and that it's not getting them probably at a different time in the 21st century.
I guess there's also a thought that there might be an adjustment period anyway, even if they were, consistently good in the Big 12. That the going theory is that, well, I mean, look at TCU and how they adjusted against Georgia. Now that's just one team. Who knows what would have happened if they'd have played against, South Carolina or LSU, other teams that had good to decent years in the Southeastern Conference. But we just saw it right there. TCU got blown out when it came to Georgia. Maybe the same thing would have happened against Alabama. But then again, I mean, you can remake a football program much, much quicker. The last time that the SEC expanded, and I mean, it took A&M a little bit of time. I mean, heck, look at where they are right now. Mizzou actually won their division the first 2 years in the league, and then they've kind of fallen back into mediocrity. But there's still a chance Texas and Oklahoma could just remake the roster the year coming into the SEC, because guys want to play in the Southeastern Conference, and they'd have a chance with those two schools.
You're exactly right, and that's why I probably shouldn't get too entrenched in that belief, because A&M had one season in the AP Top 25, one finish in the AP Top 25 in the 21st century before they came to the SEC. Year 1 in the SEC, they have the Johnny Manziel year. They beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Best AP Top 25 finish since the Bear Bryant era. And then Mizzou, year 2, year 3, they win the East. Now, Mizzou was in a little bit of a different spot with Gary Pinkel as opposed to A&M having a year 1 coach in Kevin Sumlin their first year in the SEC. But it just kind of goes to show you, then they've really struggled to sustain any sort of level of success since then. It just kind of goes to show you, we can think we have these things figured out, but in today's day and age in college football, especially now in the era of the transfer portal, you can overhaul these things quickly. And Oklahoma just signed the number 4 high school recruiting class, and they have a major influx of talent. We know that Texas is being really active in the portal, buying players, whatever you want to call it. It looks like they're doing it right now. So, yeah, these things can change in a hurry, and maybe we'll be having different conversations about these two teams next year.
Matt and I have disagreed a little bit on what the SEC will look like with 16 teams. And I heard Matt likes divisions, and I can see the reason for wanting divisions, but I almost think the decision's already been made to go to 9 games and have a 3-team permanent schedule, and then you rotate amongst the rest of the other 6. I heard Greg Sankey on Feinbaum, I think it was Friday, and he didn't confirm that, but he certainly said that's what the conversation is right now. It's 9 games, 3 permanent opponents, 6 rotating. And I think it's a lot more difficult to figure out what the 3 permanent opponents are than some people would think. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into this. There's geography, there's and then there's competitive balance too. I mean, you can't have a team playing Alabama, Georgia, and LSU on a year-by-year basis. I just can't see that happening.
Yeah, and at the same time, what's competitive balance right now? We've seen only 2 SEC East teams win the conference championship in the post-Tim Tebow era. I mean, that's not competitive balance. Like, it's considered a major win for the East this year that they win 8-6 against the West. Like, there hasn't been competitive balance. This schedule format in the 3-6 model with 3 permanent rivals and 6 rotating home and homes, it creates more parity, and I'm for that. And it's not to say that it's a great, perfect system in which everybody's going to be happy, because inevitably a few teams are going to feel wronged and a few rivalries will go by the wayside, but it's not like they're never going to play. I mean, they'll play at least twice within a 4-year stretch, and we won't have these situations where, like, Georgia still hasn't been to College Station. A&M's been in the SEC since 2012. Like, what are we doing here? I mean, you're supposed to be in the same conference, and if you're going to truly call yourself a super conference, you should have teams that play each other on a more regular basis. And so, as more of a fan of kind of the modern way of thinking with some of these things, I'm a little bit more of a believer that the 3-6 model will work. And even though there's going to be teams that are unhappy, I think it creates more balance in the long term.
Yeah, I think it's worse for the fans. I think the fans like to know that you in your divisions, even if you got your 8, everybody plays everybody, then you cross over 2 times or 3 times, and then you have your two champions that played everybody. You actually have an SEC champion instead of you're saying, oh, well, you played these 7 teams this year, and you're not going to play this team for another 4 years. I think you're missing out. I think they're missing out for the fans and for everybody, the nostalgia aspect of it that – man, you want to play. You want to know, man, we're playing these 7, 8 teams every year. That's who we're battling. And then you rotate every couple years, and then you have your true championship. You're not really going to get that. Now, you might actually get the best 2 teams, might be from one division. So it might work out where you're getting your best 2 teams, because there's a couple years where Alabama, LSU, and Auburn or whatever were the 3 best teams in the SEC no matter what. So you're all on the west side. But, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it all works out.
Counterpoint, though, we're going to get more Power 5 games. And that's what I think is going to be the great end result of this and this expanded playoff, is that now, because you can be a team that can make the 12-team playoff going 9-3 theoretically, we get, like, look at the future schedules in the SEC, man. Like, some of these teams have loaded up already, and that's great to see. And I think that's good for the future of the sport. The SEC going to a 9-game conference schedule for the first time ever and getting to see these teams play more often, like, to me, that creates the type of competitiveness that I want to see. Like, the season is so short as it is. I want more competitive matchups, and this is a way, albeit with some downsides, admittedly, this is still a way to be able to give us that.
Connor, appreciate you on these Mondays. Thank you. We'll talk again next Monday.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Connor.
Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. Always appreciate his time here on Halftime. Hogballer sent in a pretty interesting text when it comes down to it. It's true. So Georgia's not been to College Station since A&M joined the SEC. You know who also hasn't been to College Station
Arkadelphia
since they joined? Has Arkansas been to College Station?
We play him in Cherry's World, I thought. And then Johnny Manziel came to Fayetteville. I know that. I went to that game.
The pandemic year, Arkansas went to College Station. Okay. Yeah. I think it's the other way around. I think A&M hasn't been to Fayetteville.
They have. Manziel played them there. I went to the game.
Was that an SEC game? It was. You're right.
I don't know. I just know they play. Yeah, A&M played Arkansas.
Baller, appreciate the text, but you're wrong. 877-377-6963 for calls or texts.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
I am not who you say I am.
I'm a pastor.
I am a caregiver.
I am a father.
I am a friend.
I'm a doctor.
Chances are someone you know and love is struggling with substance use disorder, but recovery is possible. Help starts when we stop stigma, view each other with compassion, and reach out for help. Call 1-800-622-HELP to get started. This message sponsored by the North Arkansas Partnership for Health Education and supported by grant number 2018-AR-BX-KO85 awarded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance.
Did Cupid shoot you with a crossbow of drama instead of an arrow of true love? Don't let that little cherub ruin the rest of your life. Call Mock Legal Solutions today to stop the bleeding. Schedule a free consultation and ask about our special pricing for new divorce filings in February. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Save big when you shop at Metters Lumber True Value and get great deals during our home improvement sale. Pick up a 3-piece brush set by Master Painter for only $13.99. That's $5 off the original price. Upgrade your home's lighting with a 2-pack of GE's Direct Connect smart bulbs for only $23.99. Get $17 off Master Mechanic 20-volt cordless drill kit. Head over to Metters Lumber True Value and take advantage of these prices while supplies last.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front-row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's Tailgate Packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Peace of mind in buying a quality and well-maintained vehicle is top priority at Carco Auto Sales. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley and eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and offers a variety of late model, low mileage vehicles at unbeatable values. Come see the team at 2810 Midland Boulevard today or give them a call at 783-1722. You can check them out online at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales. When you're ready.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We got baseball on Friday, folks. Yippee-ki-yay. 7 o'clock, Arkansas, Texas. TCU on Saturday. Oklahoma State, an afternoon game on Sunday. For those who are not unaware, Brett Dolan will be on the call for the play-by-play along with Bubba Carpenter, which means I think the two of them are going to get along just great. Brett will give him all the room he wants. They'll probably agree on what that big yellow pole down the lines are called along the outfield fence. And Bubba might be, I don't know, he might be interested in getting himself a new radio partner because Brett's so good at what he does.
I wonder if the foul pole or the fair pole is the same material as the goal post. You know, because they're the same color almost,
Same
right?
color.
Yeah.
That's right. We had one doink off of the uprights.
Plus 800 to 1 on your bet.
That.
Right. Yeah.
That was like one of the earlier. There's the coin flip. There already have been a couple of touchdowns scored by then, right? So you'd already had
Kelsey hit. Yeah, that was the most popular prop bet. Yeah.
Yeah, but the one off the doink. I like just calling it a doink. Would have won you some sooner. Matt, sounds like you're a foul pole guy. I'm gonna have to convince you of this at some point.
Yes, I don't know. I need to explain to me is what I guess the way to put it. I've always just known it as the foul pole, so I don't know any other way.
Well, the problem is that those poles are part of fair territory.
So it's a fair if it hits the pole, right?
That's why I call it the fair pole.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. People ask, well, what do you call those white lines going down to the big yellow poles? I said, well, there's 4 of them. I know they're really one continuous line down each side, but you got a first base line and a right field line and a third base line and a left field line, and you never need to utilize the term foul when you're describing these lines or those poles. Call them the white lines, third base, first base, right field, left field, fair poles. Works for me. Right field pole will work too. You don't even need to say the word fair. Argument for argument's sake in some cases, and really that's what it's like for me and Bubba every once in a while. If you've never been to Globe Life Field, this is a spectacular baseball park. The old park, too, was really nice. I went to the World Series when the Cardinals played against the Texas Rangers, and, man, I thought that was a beautiful ballpark, but it didn't have a roof. So they wouldn't have been able to host a college tournament the first weekend of the season. This is only the 5th time in Dave Van Horn's 21 years running the Razorback baseball team that they will open the season somewhere that is not Baum-Walker Stadium. And major league setting, big league crowds, it's everything you could want from a big league weekend.
I'm excited for Arkansas baseball, just being around you and seeing your enthusiasm and Coach Van Horn. From afar, I've always liked what he's done, but I'm going to pay attention a lot more this year and kind of get into it. So I'm looking forward to it, Phil.
Well, just think about it. I think it's easy to be interested in a program that we've had 4 baseball postseasons in the last 5 years, because the 2020 season basically it was shut down before the teams even played a conference game. So out of the last 4 postseasons, Arkansas was 1 inning away from making it to Omaha in 21, and then the other 3 years in the College World Series. So you just sort of expect it.
I've seen that.
Go into the year expecting it.
I've watched them at the College World Series. I've watched that Oregon State final a few years back, and yeah, you couldn't do nothing but feel for the kids. You know, especially the second baseman that dropped that ball. Me and my mom are watching it, and I told her, I said, 99 out of 100 times that kid catches, maybe 100 out of 100. It's just a fluke. It's like the Trey Knox. Trey Knox had the ball in his hands, and he hands it to the guy, and they get an interception. It's just a one-off deal that's
KJ, leaping at the 2 and bumping
99
into
out of
Ricky
100, he keeps the ball. Yeah,
that's exactly right. You feel a little snake bitten when it comes to that, and those are the sort of plays that get practiced, over and over and over again to make it be second nature, and it is second nature in a lot of cases. Well, I can't wait to get it going, but I won't have a baseball call until Tuesday next week against Grambling. So I think later on this week, if he's got time, we'll get Brett on the show. Because, hey, if you're not going to have me on, you might as well replace me with a big leaguer. And Brett still does Major League games on YouTube. They've been doing Major League games for I think, a couple seasons now. And speaking of Major League Baseball broadcast, did you see Derek Jeter is now going to be on the Fox telecast, which is interesting. I wonder what they're doing with – Does that mean A-Rod has to slide over to field reporter like he slid to third base when
Big Papi goes
to the Yankees?
Big Papi goes to DH only now. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what he was anyway. That's
right.
Exactly right. Big Papi can just be the big swinger sitting, on the bench. You get A-Rod on the field by third base and let Jeter do his thing, Send
like
flowers to people after they go on a
Gift
date.
baskets, yeah.
That's right. All right. Meanwhile, we'll wrap up halftime right after this.
But it's strictly rhythm, he doesn't want to make it cry or sing.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Where can you get RV show pricing without the RV show crowd? Breen RV in Van Buren. This month only, we are paying your sales tax on all 22 trailers in stock. Save thousands from Forest River, Coachman, Keystone, and Thor. Don't worry about payments for 90 days. Get free maintenance for life and all of your state sales tax paid at Breen RV. Check out the new Sunray that weighs less than 2,000 pounds. Don't wait until spring. Come by Breeden RV today and let us show you how easy it is to buy a new or used RV.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Give me the mic so I can take it away. Off on the natural charge, Bon Voyage. Yeah, from the home of the Dodger Brooklyn squad. Wu-Tang Killer, beats on the swarm.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Guys, I've had so much fun today. I think we should do it all over again tomorrow.
It's good to have the band back together. And I speaking of halftime shows, Wu-Tang wouldn't that not have been a halftime show? Like halftime shows we want to see that probably would never get to see, which we're not. But
Wu-Tang is for the kids.
Exactly. So let's go. That's the halftime show should be for the kids.
Wait a minute. Is Wu-Tang for the kids from the 90s or the kids from today? Because it's all about the kids from the 90s because that's what we want. That's what we want, yeah. It's been good you're right, getting the band all together again. It's been great having Matty T back with us. Again, appreciated Kristen Johnston filling in for Master Matthew Travis over the past couple of weeks. But there's nothing quite like having Matty in the seat. Hey, before we go, I got to remind you also about our sign-up event at Wave Rural Connect right now. It's at Life Church in Charleston. If you live in the city limits of Charleston and you hate your unreliable, slow internet, you can get fast internet services from Wave Rural Connect today. They are located right now at Life Church with a sign-up special in Charleston at 3366 West Main Street. They're there now through 5:30. So get over there, sign up, and you get good internet at Wave Rural Connect. You can also sign up online at signup.waveruralconnect.com. Wave Rural Connect and Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative, changing the communities that we serve. There is Eric Musselman live tonight. I heard Chuck mention it on the broadcast on the Morning Rush earlier today. There's only 2 of them left because you don't do the coaches show during the postseason. I know Trevin Brazil will be in attendance today, along with Muss and Chuck and Z, and it's right here at 7 o'clock on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. If you missed anything from our halftime show, the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast, we'll have everything, and it comes out within the next hour, and Ruskin and Zach will entertain you from 2 until 7.
I bet they play better defense this next game. I bet at A&M. Practices after a loss, they're not as fun as practices after a win. The whole vibe's not as fun after a loss. So I bet they play a little better on the road against A&M.
I wonder, probably won't do it this late in the season, but it was, what was that, 2 years ago? 2 years ago, middle of January, the weighted vest practices.
Oh, no.
They turned
That's
legendary.
An off-season thing, yeah.
He did it in the middle of the season after back-to-back blowout losses.
The
team responded.
It's a teaching moment. That's what it is. You want this again? Yeah, take some more L's, and this is what you're going to get. I like it.
It's an easy lesson to learn.
We don't like to lose. I don't like to lose.
Nobody likes to lose, and nobody likes to run around with an extra 58 pounds on themselves. That's why we don't run around with our dogs over our shoulders. All right, it's been great being with you guys. You got it right. For Matt Jones and Matt Travis, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Monday. Get up, get out, and get better.